Babe, it's live now.
How are people chatting? Oh, we're live now. Hi, everyone. Hold on.
They're on my channel right now.
I failed to make tea, so
I made pumpkin spice coffee.
Ooh.
And I put pumpkin spice in it, and I put pumpkin spice creamer. Good evening, everyone. We are late because of Faye Queen.
Everyone blame Faye.
Look, I'm always on time, so I think I reserve the right to be a little late now.
Also, before we go any further, I need to give myself praise.
Oh?
I need to. For the last 3 nights, I was the only waitress to full houses at my restaurant.
Ooh.
And I need you all to understand, that's a lot for me, because my right leg is swollen right now due to an unidentified insect having bitten my leg, and it is bruised. We don't know where it came from, but whew! And so I was hobbling around a lot. And what's even really cool is that if I did work for tips, I would have made $400 this weekend. But I work hourly, so I didn't.
No. Wait, you're not. Whoa. You're not allowed to be tipped?
So the thing is, that's double dipping. So if you're working hourly, but you also take the full tips, you're double dipping in the restaurant. You get to pick. And the thing is, I'm an hourly and I'm a manager. It is expected. And I do get a lot of extra benefits besides it. Like tonight, I brought home 6 chicken leg quarters, 3 full orders of fish, and then other various foods made fresh. Wow. And I got to bring it home and I eat it throughout the week. My boss lets me borrow an extra car whenever I need it. She drives me to work almost every day. She makes me free meals.
Aww.
So I am okay if I can't get the tips. As I've said, because I am her assistant and I am the assistant manager of the restaurant, I Tom Brady myself. So if you guys don't know what that means, if you don't know football, if you don't know who Tom Brady is, if you don't know who the Patriots are, get out from under your rock. And Tom Brady would very purposely take a pay cut in the Patriots' money to go towards players, so that way the team would have strong players. They would have enough money in their I keep going to say preseason is not the way, but you get what I mean. They want to make sure they had enough money to hire good players. So there was that. Draft. They want to make sure they had enough money for the draft. So as a result, I discovered a couple of things this week about me. I discovered that I've lost weight in weird places. I used to use the second set of tits underneath me to hook onto the sink so I could wash dishes. And earlier this week, Faye would have been laughing at me because I kept sliding and then getting hooked on my boobs and I couldn't figure out why. And that's because I've lost enough fat in my midsection now that I can no longer hook onto the sink.
Yay? Question mark?
So it's like, it's great.
But at what cost?
It's like, well, dang, I was used to that. And and then I noticed this week that this is going down. So it's very weird.
I've always wanted a choker. I can't wear them.
Why not?
My neck gets very irritated with necklaces and whatnot.
Have you ever used one of these, though?
No, but just the thought of it makes me feel itchy. I don't know why.
I will tell you, you can't even do this to me for too long without, that's even hurting me right now.
Really?
I can wear these all the time. They are so lightweight and they don't really move. And even when they do move, you don't feel it. I would say go on Amazon. Anybody who wants it, you can get like a 20-pack of these on Amazon. I've had this one for literally a decade and she a little stretched. So I need to buy a new one. I'll try. I did post videos about it as well.
Oh.
If you're wondering why Faye Queen has that look on her face, it's because she is trying very hard to make something very cool. And her computer is fighting her very much. Oh yeah, Lunil's got it on the dot. You see, and the funniest thing is, Lunil, back when we were all wearing them in the 90s, I couldn't wear one. Do you know why? Because you couldn't find them. These were so popular. So they were called tattoo jewelry. Okay? And they came in everything. You could get them in rings, in bracelets, anklets, necklaces. And the only one that I had for years was a pastel pink one. Now, children, I want you to look at my skin. Observe. Now, I want you to imagine a crystalline pastel pink choker. Little crystalline beads on it. And I want you to imagine how it looks, because even when it was on me, that's all you could do to see it was there. You had to imagine. Because it was like bleeding into my skin. But yeah, I've been wearing mine. I don't know, it was on the Star Murata show. I showed a video of me from like 12 or 13 years ago, and I was wearing this necklace.
Nice.
And I was like, so I haven't changed. I'm consistent.
Me too. I just recently bought a... I actually wore it on one of my streams, a very bubblegum pink shirt.
Ooh, is it behind you right now? Can we see it?
No, it's... Where is that thing? I actually don't remember where I put it! Oh no! Aww.
There's a child!
A baby!
How did you even get one of those? Where'd you get it?
I shed it out.
Dang it, that's the easy way. I thought they sold them now. That's what everyone online tells me.
Aww.
I keep thinking, oh, it's a baby. I'm so excited. We were all at Twitter about the baby this evening at family dinner. My sister-in-law is still convinced you cannot see the belly. Jilly, if you're watching this, you can see the belly.
Is she ashamed of it?
No,
doesn't like it?
So the problem is, Jilly is very much, you need to show her the hard evidence right in front of her. And because it's her body and it's happening slowly, she can't see it. Pretty much, if it's not like...
that.
Huh?
I get that.
Yeah, see, so Faye knows what she's talking about. And we're telling her, because the thing is, Jilly has always been a very slim woman, very slim. She's tall, she's willowy, and she has... All right, if you've ever seen one character, Aviana, she's got Aviana's figure. She's got a little bit of slight hips to her, and she's always had a flat tummy. Well, now it's convex, okay? You can see it coming out. It's a permanent food baby looking at right now. And she don't understand that. And we're chatting right now, guys. We're going to get to the meat of this, because Peachy came up with such a great idea last week. And Faye was like, oh, yeah. Oh, I have emotions. And so, who do we vote to go first on this, by the way, ladies? Because Peachy came up with the idea, but Faye is the mommy of this group. So, who should start us off with the discussion of mothers and their OnlyFans?
So just let everybody know this got started, because I'm going to start an OnlyFans.
She out here bullshitting everyone.
So, who... I guess I can start, maybe. If that's okay.
I'll allow it. Okay. What say you?
Sure.
Baby's gotta learn stuff first. I hope you're listening in, baby Faye.
Hold on.
So you learn.
The court is ready. Commence.
All right. So, for those of you who don't read the title, don't read it all, we're talking about OnlyFans. We're going to discuss as to the negative and, I guess, quote unquote, the positive aspects to OnlyFans, and if women should pursue it, or if they shouldn't pursue it, or anyone should should be a part of it overall. Actually, let me ask you girls a question first before I get into it. Do you think it's just women that should stay away from it, or people in general?
I say everyone.
Everyone?
I say everyone because, so for me, OnlyFans is a cry for help. It is just like, and back in the day, every girl, Faye is like a sneeze older than you and a hiccup younger than me, but back in the early 2000s, 2005 to 2010, when the internet really started to kick off, cam girls was the easiest job. You could literally get on all of these fetish sites, and you could pretend to be a mistress or a dominatrix, And you could very easily make a decent amount of money if you're willing to sell feet pics, hand pics. And I can guarantee you there's not a single woman who did them back then that is proud of them today. And they will tell you they did it out of desperation. It was easy, it was cheap to do, and it made them a lot of money, but it also put them in a lot of bad situations. And the thing is, there were men that did it too. And it just, you are degrading yourself. This is going to underscore a lot of my point, or rather, give my point away too early. You are degrading yourself for $1. And the thing is, everyone will be like, oh, anytime you work for a bad boss, or blah, 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 blah. It is not the same thing. It just isn't. There's a reason why socially, being a stripper or even a burlesque dancer or any of these things, they come with a stigma because everyone knows what they entail. And everyone knows what those social lives involved entail. If you want to make big money, if you want to do those things, you have to start getting involved more. Your name gets bigger. It is a very vicious cycle that can fall downhill. So for me, it's not just women. I think it's disgusting that is most prevalent with women. And see, Natanya, shush, don't you get ahead of us. But I will say that anybody taking part in sex work as a whole, which is what OnlyFans is, you can call it whatever you want, it's sex work. Unless you're only posting dog paws, which when I tell you I'm so tempted to open an OnlyFans and just take pictures of all my animals. Just be like,
there are actually YouTubers that do that. They have OnlyFans to put their content that'll get demonetized on YouTube, and it's not like necessarily sexual or anything.
That's what I want to do. I just want to do like the silliest shit. Be like, oh, here's Zorro's nose. Oh, here's Orion's tail wagging. Like, I want to do shit like that. Like, that to me is, but there's also a guy that has a Pornhub and it's entirely dedicated to praying. So, the entire Pornhub, he is praying. He titles it in very sexual ways. Like, you know, man on his knees, and it's literally him on the side of his bed going, Lord, thank you for today. And I'm like, this is the porn we need. Anyway, okay, what about you? Do you think it's only women? Or do you think men and women should avoid, let's say, like, you know, if they were going to do it, should both avoid it?
Can she hear us?
I don't know. Faye!
I'm sorry, baby took the mic. She has something very important to say.
Jay, you know I don't believe in body positivity.
Really? Like, at all?
No, I do not.
No, hang on. I think there is the pros to body positivity, but it's been so twisted and weaponized to the point that it's unrecognizable anymore. Similar to how I do believe in like the whole women equality and the whole women's rights, pretty much. Like, I believe women should have the choice of going to work and staying home moms instead of no, they should just be stay-at-home moms. Yeah, but then it's got, when you hear feminism or female rights, you think of all the negative aspects of it, because that's all you hear in the media, that's all you hear and see on TV and in the news. You don't think of where it came from and why it even came to be in the begin with. But the same thing goes for body positivity. It should go both ways, by the way. I think who was talking about it? I was half asleep when I heard it on a podcast. Someone was talking about Eugenia Cooney. No one talks about her when it comes to body positivity. It's always the fat acceptance movement.
Exactly. And here's the thing. So, Lunil, I thought it was too, but there's a whole deep dive in that. And when I go into my feels on this, because it does get wrapped into the body positivity movement, I will go over that portion as well. But Faye, let me ask you something. Do you think that OnlyFans is negative only for women and it's empowering to men, or it's fine for men? Or do you think there are negative aspects that can affect men as well?
There's definitely negative aspects that can affect men as well. Both sides, because, being addicted to porn is a thing. You can dabble too much in it. So, yeah, there's negative aspects because, it can lead to an addicting behavior, but you also, I feel like, have to have the type of personality to submit to addiction. I can't think of a better word for it, but I think you have to have certain types.
Apparently.
Huh?
The addictive gene, you mean? Like, you have to have that in you to be able to be addicted.
Yes.
Just kicking her.
Anything else you like to say, Baby Faye? You got some insight? You got some insight? You got some disparities you'd like to share?
Only titties are for drinking.
All right. Well said. Okay, so that kind of covers that. Going off of that, and going off of, getting into OnlyFans as a whole now. Right. So I'm thinking that I'll give my personal experience on it, especially for my generation. And then you can kind of tie that into your experience. Like you kind of said a few words there. I never thought of it that way, but cam girls, that's literally OnlyFans, but to early 2000s.
The original, right?
I never really thought of that before. But oh my gosh, what was I gonna say? Dang it! No, it was all perfect and structured and everything.
So go back. So you're saying, like, you've got your own young perspective on it from your generation. What does OnlyFans? You're the first generation that was closest to school where you could say, people from college or high school that their moms could have had an OnlyFans.
Yes. Okay. I was actually that, and I was going to tie it into what you said before. A lot of people join. You said a lot of people join OnlyFans or things similar to OnlyFans, like Pornhub, due to desperation. I'm going to have to disagree with that in a little bit. And one of the reasons being, I think a lot of young women in particular are joining OnlyFans and sites like OnlyFans today, not because of sheer desperation, but because of how easy it is and how so many people have been talking about how good it's been. How positive it's been for them.
Desperation for money. It may not be.
No, not because I know women who aren't desperate for money, or girls back in high school specifically who weren't desperate for money, but they loved how easy it was to make more money than I am making more money than I did my part-time job, so I quit it, and it's so easy, and I can just delete it when I don't want it anymore. That's their mindset. That's what they're thinking. Oh, if I delete it, it's just all gonna go away, which isn't that's a total lie. And what really is unfortunate is there are women out there who do. Misery loves company. There are women who, like you said, who do this stuff, but maybe like 9 out of 10 women, I'd say 10 out of 10, but there's always the exception, right? Who do this stuff and love what they do. But they're lying to themselves because now they realized that 1, they can't go back from it, and 2, it cannot be erased. So they tell these young girls, oh no, look at all this money I'm making, not just to convince them, because if they see these young girls doing it, they kind of make themselves feel better. Because if they see these young girls if these young girls or women like myself go, oh no, it's not for me, they'll immediately say something like, oh, why are you ashamed of it? Self-projection. Because if they know if I turn away from it, they know that they did something wrong.
Because it's a personal attack on them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the way we're both perceiving desperation is a different thing. No matter what, you need to make money. Almost every girl that goes into OnlyFans, you are desperate for money. If you're already working a part-time job or some kind of job where you feel you're a slave to labor or whatever it is, and you're trying to get an easy way out. A lot of girls do it for that reason because they know they have to make money. And so they placate, like you were saying, it's okay. I can just delete it if I want to. Like that girl that we were talking about last week where she, the NPC girl, she had the audacity to really think that no one was going to take her stuff and share it online when she was the biggest name at the time. Everyone was talking about her.
Oh yeah, no one's talking about her anymore.
No one's talking about her no more. Why? Because she flipped out.
Because ice cream ain't so good.
No, I thought it was because the trend just kind of died.
I think honestly, well, no, because it's still alive on TikTok. See, that's the thing about TikTok. Its trends never die. They just stay within their little circle jerk. And that's the biggest problem. Is it's like, you'll go into their little, like again, with body positivity. For us, it seems like it's dead. Then you go into it and you find out they've been doing all this stupid shit. But this is what I will tell you. So for me, OnlyFans as a whole is in theory, it was a great idea because it was initially started for, hey, YouTube cuts you off. You've got something you want to tell your fans, but YouTube's going to demonetize you. You can do it on here, and only your closest fans, your biggest fans, you can charge them whatever you want a month, and they can come in and they can watch that, and you won't get demonetized, because the problem is that Patreon can do it. There wasn't really any other platforms you could do it on, but very quickly everyone learned it could become a porn site, because that's why for like a very short amount of time, OnlyFans canceled all porn, and like that was like a month.
Not even a month. I think it lasted a few weeks.
And they brought it right back because they were like, well, shit, nobody's on the platform now. And so the problem with it is that, and this is what Natanya said, it's been mismarketed as sex is empowering to women. We have been led to believe that being hoes is empowering. We've been led to believe that men that sleep around, that women that sleep around, oh, they're strong, they're embracing their sexuality, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're also embracing venereal diseases, they're also embracing STDs, they're embracing children out of wedlock, they're embracing abortions, and this is the slippery slope it goes down into. And this is the problem with it. When a mom gets into an OnlyFans, typically this is a woman who has to choose between actually putting in effort, because I have a ton of single mom friends. I have got friends who have absentee dads. I've got friends who have boyfriends that are involved but are not their kids. I have friends who remarried with someone else's kids. I have friends from every aspect of it. Not a single one of them has an OnlyFans mom. Not a single one.
Not that you know of.
No, trust me, they just showed me. Because my friends are the kind of friends, if it happens, we all gonna know about it. I see them make it. What this is somebody who wants, like you said, an easy dollar. And it seems fine and dandy. Oh, it's not that big a deal. Oh, my kid's never gonna see it. But there's a reason why. It was always a joke if your mom was a stripper. It was always a joke if your mom was a hooker. So it was a joke if your mom was a burlesque dancer or a showgirl, anything like that. Because at the end of the day, when you degrade yourself for $1 and you do it like that, you're putting yourself in. And the thing is, I'm not saying that anybody who does that is a bad person. I'm not saying that I don't understand why they might do it. I understand all that. What I am saying is, because I almost was a cam girl for a while, you see that opportunity, you see that money, and it's an easier way. You have your youth, you have your looks. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I even mentioned it on a. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
On when I was many moons ago, when I was on Miss Melanie King's show. That was you know that story, right? Oh no. Oh, that's a story. But I'll get into that soon if you don't know. But the long and short of it is it's a podcast, and during that podcast, I mentioned that I was at a point in my life, another point in my life, during college years, where I was literally desperate for money. I had no money, I needed money, and then someone at work, a new job, it took me a while, but I got a new job, and they said, hey, this is during the pandemic, by the way. Hey, I'm on OnlyFans and I'm making so much money. It's insane. I just send out a few pics and people just give me this stuff. It's easy. And I actually almost signed up for it. Well, I was going to start off with just feed pics. Then a friend of mine, another online friend of mine, Drex, shout out to Drex. He strongly advised that I didn't do it because he made a lot of good points. And one of them being that it starts with feet. Then it ends up with like your legs, then your torso, then without your shirt, then, spreading your legs, and it goes downhill from there because the money can really rope you in.
I'm sorry, Peachy.
And
cut you off.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would have ever had the balls to go that far.
I don't know, because the problem is, I will tell you, I've met people that have zero balls, but it gets in, like we were saying earlier,
desperation.
Not only desperation, but it gets intoxicating. You're like, well, if I can make more money, think about it. How many people they say, I never thought they'd do that. But when the opportunity arises, and the thing is, when it's you versus the camera, you're not actually doing that to a group of people. You're recording yourself and then you're posting it afterwards. So it's really easy to hide away, and you could even ignore all the comments and never have to worry about anything. So that's the problem with it, is that it's we can say that now because Peachy has now learned a lot more, seen a lot more, and now there's a more of a moral code punched into her from what she's seen, from what's happened to other girls who've done OnlyFans. But that Peachy, the one that just got introduced to it, the one that was just learning about it.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that she couldn't have done the feet thing. I don't see Peachy ever being able to do what.
That's the thing. I think it could have gotten. I definitely think it could have gotten there. I have friends that I thought, people that I was friends with in high school that I thought would never do some of this. Truly, things they've done.
And desperation will make you do desperate things. For instance, I really needed money then, and if I were in the wrong headspace any day, and then one day some random OnlyFans account user goes, "Hey, I will give you $1,000 for a topless pic," I would, again, if it was a really bad day, I probably would have considered it. I'm not gonna lie, because it's $1,000, and then if I did it, then you think that was so easy, and that was and then maybe if I have a special page and if you give me another $1,000, I'll do it. It's little things like that.
Breastfeeding stream.
And think about it. On top of that, now you got to realize. So, not to obviously put Peachy stuff out there, but it's well known. She's never had a boyfriend, so she's clearly a virgin. So think about that selling point. So like, think about it, seriously.
No, it's the truth.
How many men that are desperate incels will think this is a pretty young girl? She's, no man has seen this.
I'm such a snowflake.
Such a little soft snowflake.
Dainty.
And now she puts a price on that. So that's what I'm saying.
Did you hear about the young woman who actually sold her virginity?
Stop.
Like, she put herself out on Craigslist and like had a bid.
Did she at least get a good bid on it?
I forgot. I think she made like almost $1 million. And then she was flown out to like some country and, gave it away. Like, I was like, listen. What?
Faye and Mike's
I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna give you my price. It's gonna be 5 acres of land and prime.
I want at least 3. And
2 pigs.
I want 3 prime bulls. I need at least 5 acres of land for my child here. I need your first harvest, okay? Okay. And I need at least 1 field of silkworms. And if there is not a goat involved, then lady, you can call the whole thing off. I love it. No, but it's the problem with it is that, and here's the big kicker, and so the perspective
only Peachy and you only post peaches in suggestive position.
Pure Peachy in Christ! Oh my God, this is ridiculous. we are getting some bubbly folks. You are a bad person today. No, but the thing is, like, the biggest problem and what we really thought about this is, like, I think especially. And anyone can judge me on it. I think there comes a point where, let's say, all right, fine, you want to go do OnlyFans. You have a kid.
Ow!
Cut it off. Yeah, fight harder. Yep. Show her who's boss, kid. No, here's the thing. You have a child.
Star Sand's gonna get you fucked up, little girl.
You quit it. And people are like, oh, well, I'm making a lot of money. Okay, then if you knew you were going to get pregnant, you had 9 months from when you got pregnant to stock up on all the money you made on OnlyFans, put it away in bank accounts, set up and and then you quit. And you stay home with your child for a while, and then you get a regular job. Because here's the thing. Your child, whether you like it or not, is going to grow up with that. Now, Michelle McDaniel actually did a video on this. And in her opinion, it wasn't that bad. Oh, because, where I grew up, she grew up in a very major metropolitan area. Like, we're talking like the LA, Houston kind of places, where these are large areas with a lot of influencers. So it's more apt. Like, if you're in LA, your mom having an OnlyFans, not that big a deal. You're in Charlotte, North Carolina, your mom having an OnlyFans is a big fucking deal. And the thing is, these are women who are going into the pickup line, okay? with their OnlyFans advertised in the back of the fucking car.
Oof.
And the thing is, they're like, oh, well, it doesn't affect kids that bad. Other kids are fucking mean. If they find out that your mom isn't your birth mom, I have heard kids make fun of other kids at the thought of their dad being dead. My nieces, right? Their dad had a seizure. Okay? The other kids in the school said, well, your daddy's dead. And they were making fun of her for it. Now granted, my niece decked the kid, and I was very proud of her for it. But the point is, kids will make fun of another kid for anything. And
kids are mean.
Huh?
I was just agreeing. Kids are middle school kids specifically.
Right.
Like,
and how many truly want? I need you to think about this. I want you to think that you're at work, and someone walks up to you and says, "Oh my God, I saw your mom's pussy. I saw it all out there. You want to see the video?" As an adult, that would probably revolt you. Think of it as a kid.
That could actually ruin your that could, I think that I would argue that could cost someone their job if it go, because not because what your mother did is illegal or anything, but that will stir controversy within the office. No work is done. Then if someone from like a higher up hears about this, they're gonna think at the back of it that you hire employees that have family reputations like this. Like as much as this world is trying to normalize sex work, like you will hear it. You ask like 5 women off the street, hey, is sex work? Yeah. Is it positive? Oh yeah. A lot of people will tell you that, but they know that it's scrutinized. Not for just religious reasons, because we know deep down it's not right. Here's the thing. A lot of people, I've heard the argument being thrown around like, oh, but there are women in cultures who go around topless. Like it's just a normal thing, because that's normal for their culture. Our culture through hundreds of years has been under the impression that we should not be, not clothed and shown off in front of everyone.
But the thing
especially women.
Those cultures have ritual, like this is not.
It's a ritual thing, yeah.
Those women walking around topless also live in deserts where regularly gets like 120 degrees. Of course, their titties are hanging out. They're gonna sweat otherwise. That's first of all. Second of all, a lot of these cultures, they have very strict rituals and rules. Just because they walk around topless, they don't see it as a sexual thing. It's never a sexual thing. And if you go to those cultures and you say, do you believe in a man sleeping with a man or a woman sleeping with a woman? You know what they're going to tell you? That is the devil. So don't sit there and use them as your basis for sex work, because you would not be welcomed in their culture 9 times out of 10. That's first of all. Second of all, a lot of them believe in monogamy. Now then they'll sit there and go, well, there's one culture that trades their spouses. Okay, that is one culture out of thousands. And that's the problem when you sit there, and this is the biggest thing. It's like you were saying, you can't use one-off of a third world country's small culture living out in the middle of Timbuktu. Nobody knows about them, and they've never been exposed to the world. That's first of all. Second of all, we're talking about the fact that a lot of people who do these things, you can almost psychoanalyze them. It's so easy. And here's where Baby Faye is talking. She is actually technically saying, "Mother, give me the other boob." And here's the thing. A lot of the people that do OnlyFans, go ahead and look back on their history. They either had absentee parents, they were abused by someone, they were hurt in school, bullied. These are people seeking validation somewhere, and usually that's coupled with a monetary gain. These and I mean no ill will, but think about it. How many times have we talked on this stream about Faye and Peachy's past trauma from being raised and stuff? So what did Peachy say? She was very close, thinking, I need money, and you know what? If it's enough money, I'll do it. I was whatchamacallit. I was molested in my youth. I came very close to being a cam girl. People who get that damage in some way to their confidence, to their self-image, you don't really care, even for a brief moment, about degrading yourself. But then I really thought about it, and I was like, nope, It's not worth it. I won't feel empowered. I won't feel this. I won't feel that. The only thing I'll feel is gross, because then I thought to myself, I'm selling myself to the highest bidder, because whoever's on the other side of that camera is gonna wank off to me. And then I thought to myself, what if this person, because again, back then, a lot of these things, you weren't talking to somebody on the other side of the globe. You were typically talking to someone within your geographic area. They would usually do that way. So this means, especially being in Rhode Island, that is someone who could find me. And the thing is, that's what you get. Like, I was just watching earlier a video. Now, it's a little bit not related, but related. There was this singer who apparently was on, whatchamacallit, I think X Factor, something like that. And she got famous on YouTube. And in 2016, she was at a concert, and one of her fans walked up to her on video, shot her in the head.
Oh,
Just killed her. Just cuz. And so it's stuff like that where, now imagine, this is you are now connecting to all of these people on a sexual level, which is always more possessive. They are seeing your intimate parts, and they are able to pay you to tell you what to do to gratify them. That creates an even stronger bond. Now, I want you to imagine your child witnessing that. Another kid in school bringing up these videos and showing them to your kid. Are you really okay with that? Are you really okay with God knows what thing you're doing on that camera? How many people you're doing it with? Is that how you want your kid to see you? Is that something you want ingrained in their mind? Because whether you like it or not, yeah, it damages them. Look at how many privileged kids grow up in Hollywood with all the money in the world, all the privileges in the world, and they need years of therapy. Because the things they've witnessed, the things they've seen, the things they've been put up with, they can't fucking handle it.
that also kind of ties into the another argument that I've heard being thrown around. Oh, if your mom's if she does end up miraculously, right, being the top 1% of OnlyFans, and she's racking in millions of dollars a month, right? So who cares if people make fun of you? Who cares if they just throw money at? I mean, like, that's similar to the idea you just throw money at the problem, it'll go away. Oh, someone makes fun of you, buy yourself a Lamborghini. Someone makes fun of you online, just go buy another house or something in Cancun. But money, and then people forget, money doesn't solve all problems. It's a temporary solution. And you could have all this money. Jeanette McCurdy, yep, you could have all this money.
Faye,
You won't have anyone to share it with. You will get bored real quick. Once you have everything you can ask for, I would personally argue you can get bored real easily.
Oh yeah, I would.
That's just me, because if I really put my, and I'm not saying, oh my gosh, billionaires have it so rough. Look, they're living on easy street. Let's not lie. But that's why I can also understand why the suicide rate is so high for people who have millions of dollars. Why they can't stay in a relationship. Why they don't trust anyone. Why they're constantly moving, because they're bored.
Exactly, and the thing is, like, and
it's like a double-edged sword, honestly.
Well, like we were saying earlier, we were talking about people like Pearl. People like Pearl who come in, they get all this money, they live a very privileged lifestyle. And
how much money does she make?
Huh?
I don't know how much money she
We're
makes.
both
because I was under the notion that she was living off of daddy's money.
She is, but she started making her own money, living off daddy's money. But the thing is, like, she's constantly ragging on these girls who do all this stuff. But she's better in a lot of ways. Like, she does a lot of the same shit they do. But it's like you were saying earlier, we're not people who don't believe in the freedom of choice, the freedom of all these things. You have every right to say what you want to say. You have every right to say all these things. But, oh, there she is. She's back. You froze, like, dead ass froze for a while. Can you hear us?
Faye Queen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Faye, can you hear us?
She said yes. She said yeah.
Oh. I can barely hear you. She's like, yes. But it's like, everyone gets everything they want just so they can realize it's not enough. Exactly. Pearl has all this money. That's what I was getting to. So think about it. Girls like Pearl have all this money. have all this fame. Notice how all she does is rip on all these people. All she does, the entire thing she does, is make fun of women, want to take away women's rights. However, she will then get mad when anybody talks over her, when anyone doesn't listen to what she has to say. She's miserable. And now she's telling everybody, oh, well, no, nothing ever works. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. You're doomed to fail. You're doomed to do this. So she's got all this money. Oh, yeah. Right now she is simultaneously telling women their only value is getting married and having babies. They don't deserve an opinion. They don't deserve the right to vote. Nothing. Their only value is that. While telling men they should not get married, it's too high of a risk. Okay? Too much of a financial disaster. And that they should all get vasectomies. Is that not trying to spread as much misery as possible amongst your fan base? Loaded girl. Rich beyond belief. Everything she does.
And she's single.
Self-hatred. And to me, that's just like an OnlyFans girl. A lot of these OnlyFans girls are not confident. They put on a great front, but it's just like a dog at the end of a chain barking as loud as they can. Just because the dog is barking and it's puffing its chest doesn't mean it's confident and doesn't mean it's tough. Fun fact.
Yeah, like Wiggles.
When a dog barks like that, it's because they're scared and they're trying to scare you away. And the tougher they act, usually folks freak out of it. And so they go, ooh, and so the dog has learned, oh, okay. If I act this tough, you're not going to question me anymore. You're not going to come after me. And you know what these girls are doing? They're doing the exact same thing. Oh, I'm so gorgeous and sexy, and everyone wants to pay to see my titties, and that's how these girls, they don't validate it by saying, yes, I understand this, that, and the other. Uh-oh, there we go.
Damn, these girls out here getting paid to show their titties? You owe me some money.
Who is she like, excuse you? So this is a mutually beneficial.
And by the way, I think this would go for. I think when the girls, there was one I saw a clip of someone making fun of Sneeko actually, but he was interviewing a young woman who did OnlyFans, and she was like,
Yes, I love everything that I do. I make a lot of money. I also feel very confident in myself, and I hope that other women could feel as good as I do,
or something like that, right? It's scary how easy that.
And
was.
My question is, what is the confidence? What? Because the thing is,
no, it is confidence.
Because
a lot of women my age see all this attention. Again, this is a lot of younger women, or women my age in general. And maybe it's because I'm just different. I don't know. It's a one-way tunnel. All they see and all they hear is validation and money.
But then that's my question, okay? So here's the thing. And I've used this argument, again, every time there's a liberal talking point, you can copy and paste all of it. Where is that actual confidence? If you require outside validation and outside yes men to make you feel confident in the choices you are making, are you actually confident, or are you insecure and needing people to tell you you're making the right choice? And how I justify that is right here. There is nothing about my life that gets validated by the outside world, not even to recently.
Lower.
Something. What?
Lower.
Huh?
Lower.
I can't hear you, honey.
Can't hear me? What the heck?
No, because
I'm sounding like this.
that's why we can't hear you, honey.
What shit?
We can't hear you when you're that close, Faye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're pulling it too close.
I said lower, Star Sand.
Lower what?
Put your hands back where you had them.
Oh, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, right. But that's the thing. Think about it, Faye. Here's the thing. My whole life, no one's validated Italians. We got made fun of. Everyone said that being Catholic is evil. Being Republican is evil. When I rescue cats, everyone tells me what a loser I am for that. I've been roasted. Do you know how many people tell me that I'm a horrible wife because my husband has to put up with the animals? I've never been validated. So do you know who validates me? I got the Lord and I got myself. No one else. And that's the thing. If tomorrow I turned off every camera in this room and you never heard from me again, I would not stop doing what I do. I would not stop being proud of what I do. Because every time I question myself, I look at Axel, I look at Orion, and I think of where they would be. And I realize that a lot of my animals would be dead. They weren't in my life. And so that is my validation. And nobody else.
Madison Lanford, thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you.
And that's the thing. This is the problem, guys. This is the problem. It is not confidence. It's insecurity that is masked with the idea of confidence. But this is women who say, well, I'm doing it right. I must be. All these men are giving me money for it. No, these are people who cannot find someone in their lives, and you're an easy thing they can pay $5.99 a month to stare at. You are meaningless to them.
Who wants to see the cutest thing you'll probably see all night?
I want to see, but I don't know. I got some pretty adorable animals here. Oh,
Aww.
she's holding it on her own. What a big girl. But that's my point.
So
like,
cute.
It's not... Look at Black China. Black China is a perfect example. Look at how
Black China.
Huh?
Who is Black
China?
What does she do?
She just got big. Being big, essentially. There's a whole, again, Michelle.
I gotta look her up. I don't know what I've heard the name thrown around. I don't know who she is.
Black China went and got a bunch of surgeries done to give herself a big ass, big lips, big boobs. And she even said she literally did it so that way she could make money and get validation. And you know what she's done? She's taken it all out.
Oh, yeah. She's the girl that had all the resurgery done.
She took out all of it and said it's not
Really?
worth it. It isn't worth that fake validation. Now she's doing everything natural. She's exercising. And this is my point, guys. This is my point.
It's actually scary.
She's much prettier now. And
ew, I don't like what she looks like in surgery.
yeah, the surgery her doesn't look good. Think about how many famous people look horrible after the thousands of dollars they've paid for plastic surgery. Madonna, perfect example. These are all people that were desperate for validation. And they sat there and they get a bunch of yes people in LA and Hollywood and New York, and they think it's okay. This is the exact same thing. Just because you've got a group of people telling you it's okay in an echo chamber doesn't mean it's good for you. And just because you got a bunch of people sitting there going, oh, you're amazing. Oh, you're this. Oh, give me money. If the moment they leave, your confidence goes down, and the moment they leave, you've now got to scramble to try to get some kind of attention. Did it help you? Ryan, what are you eating? Spit it out.
I actually want to counter that a bit.
Go ahead.
You say, going back to you saying that a lot of women, if not all women, do this stuff for the sake of validation.
I'm talking about the OnlyFans part.
Yeah. I also think that it is not just validation. It can also be just an addiction. Because again, I know girls, or I've seen girls, I don't really know them, right? Who were like the popular girl, who were genuinely very pretty, who didn't have mommy and daddy issues, who had a good life at home, from what I understood. Like, they were just average individuals, but they still did OnlyFans. And one of the reasons why they did it is because they would see the money, they like the attention, and it's like a dopamine hit.
But
when
again,
you're like, oh, I used to get like
validation.
only 20, 30,000 likes. Now I'm getting 50 to 100 likes. Oh, that was nice. Oh, I can get more. Ooh.
But again,
and it
that's
hits more
validation.
and more and more. No, I think an addiction is different than validation.
Well, the thing is, you can be addicted to the validation, because the thing is, again, like you said, these were girls that grew up being popular and pretty. Now they're out of high school. Where are they getting their yes men from? So again,
True.
it's a different version of the same thing. So you're right and at the same time, it's like a tilt of it. Again, it's the same thing. These are people who they can't survive just sitting looking in the mirror saying, "Damn, I am pretty." No, no, no. They need everyone else to pay them for it, so that way they still feel it. And that's the problem, because, like you said, it is an addiction to it. But they're addicted to knowing that they are that good. They peaked in high school. Exactly.
And we're hiding all of these negative aspects with the notion that, oh, it's actually body positivity. It's I'm just being myself. I'm embracing my inner beauty or something like that.
Faye, what about you? You said you had opinions on this woman. Hi, baby Faye. Faye.
Can she hear us? Faye!
She can't hear us.
I don't think she can hear us.
What is your opinion on all this? You said you had hard opinions on this.
Yeah, but then I got, I'm just letting you speak.
Yeah, but we want to hear your side of all this, because my question is, looking at it, in your opinion, is OnlyFans good? Is it bad?
If we're gonna go black and white, I would say it's bad. Something like that, it doesn't contribute. Well, I can't say it fully doesn't contribute, but morally, it doesn't contribute to society at all.
Financially, yes.
Financially, yes. Morally, it doesn't really contribute to society at all. Now, I won't say that, case by case basis, because considering some of the places I work, depending on your reason for going into any type of work of that variety, and I'm not even talking about just OnlyFans, we're talking about titty bars and everywhere else, people do it for many different reasons. And I'll admit that there are some very, very valid reasons to do it, but I also agree that a lot of people that are young that go into those types of jobs are just doing it because they want to make money quick and the easiest way possible. But one of the things people have to realize too about doing that type of work when you're young, yeah, it seems like really easy to do because you're growing up in a generation where it's like, oh, let's not stigmatize this and let's not stigmatize this. And yes, we probably shouldn't stigmatize some of those things, but let's not go off the deep end with them either. And then you go through that and you get into that type of work, and then you get a year or 2 or 3 down the line, and now you're all used up. For one. 2, you're not going to seem as attractive to someone who's going to want to spend the rest of their life with you unless it's a special type of person.
Because I think it's understandable that people don't want that. I think it's very reasonable that partners like, listen, you're great and all, but half of the country saw your titties and your vagine, and I really don't feel comfortable with that because one of my coworkers, I definitely see that.
This goes both ways, by the way. A lot of people go, "Oh no, men can." I've heard it thrown around that, "Oh, men can sleep with 100 and 200, 300 women, and their wives aren't going to care at all." Wrong.
Faye?
If I found out my boyfriend slept with, if he told me, oh, if I asked him, oh, what if I don't know how, I don't even know how the conversation would come up, right? What's your body count, right? And he was like, oh, I've been around maybe 200, 300. I actually lost count. I'd be like, hard pause. What?
Let me ask.
That is
right. Faye, let me ask you
that
something.
I'm cool with.
Do you think that's part of it? Like the idea that everyone's seen it? I don't want to be part of that now.
Well, going back too, I was also going to say that, you have that where you're not going to seem as a very attractive partner. And then there's also the fact that when you do work like that, it is a degrading type of thing, and it does affect you mentally. I've worked in places that have women that do those types of things, and some of them, it was just the simple facts they had a bad life growing up and they wanted to take care of their kids. They couldn't see any other alternative. So I'm not saying that some reasons are very, very valid to start doing it, but it's a very, very degrading thing. And I feel like you being behind a camera, sure, it doesn't kind of hit you, but after a while, what these young girls don't realize is that it's going to catch up. It's going to catch up with you. It's it it's the reason why too, like a lot of people who do like actual videos or who work in titty bars, exotic dancers, things like that,
Brother Jack.
they quit after a certain age and go on to do other things, either because they got too old for it or it just became too much.
And I agree.
And I know a lot of older women who work in those types of jobs where they only ever come back out of sheer necessity. They work for a few months and then they're gone. The second something else shows up, they're gone. I worked with a woman who was a nurse or a receptionist at a optometrist. And that was originally how I met her, was because she worked at the optometrist my mom used. And then I start working at this place and she's working there too as a dancer and remembers me and remembers my mom. And she was there for maybe, I want to say like 6 months, and she just bounced in and out 6 months and then she was gone again. Like, those girls don't stay. The ones that have been doing it for a while, the second something else comes up, they don't stay.
And that's the thing, is like, again, it's desperation. It's like Lunel just asked, she used to know girls that would go on to the amateur night in strip clubs. She doesn't understand why. Validation. These are girls that need to feel sexy. They don't know how to make themselves feel sexy. It's the only way they know.
I'm gonna deny you there. It's not just it's specifically for amateur nights. From what I've seen, it's not a validation thing. Places, my personal opinion with that, because I worked in those types of clubs, is that it's not a validation thing for amateur nights. I feel like people come to amateur nights for quick cash, yes, but also because there's this thing where in the media and in movies and things, it seems like being an exotic dancer is so easy because all you have to know how to do is twerk. And then they come in thinking, though, like, oh, it's an amateur night, I'll make some money and never do it again. Which I wouldn't say is a bad thing to do if you want to try, because amateur nights, you don't really have to get undressed. It's a certain type of dress code, but you don't really have to get undressed. You don't have to fully demean yourself like if you're actually working that job. You can make a few bucks and then you leave. But when they get there, they end up embarrassing the fuck out of themselves and not making anything because they let media dictate what it's actually like, and then the other girls who are there, who actually work there, come and show them up. And we did like amateur nights, I think 3 times. We had people show up like 3 times, and then we kept doing it the same night, and people stopped coming.
Well, because so my thought, and I obviously you have more experience in it. My thought is, because a lot of girls that I know will go and do it, the same ones that sign up for a strip pole class. Well, I just want to feel sexy. So, like, I think my personal thing, it can be both. I think it'd be mostly that kind of thing because you've obviously seen it firsthand. And it's just a matter of, for me, when it comes down to it, and going back to Peachy's body count thing, because that I want to know as well. For me, I do get very tired of that rhetoric of men can sleep around and nobody worries about it. When I was growing up, if you were a whore, you were a whore. Okay? It didn't matter what was dangling or not dangling. You got a reputation. I don't know if that's a Rhode Island thing. I don't know if it was just where I grew up thing in Rhode Island, or if it was just I happened to feel that way and that was my lens. But if I found out anyone had a body count, frankly, to me, 2 is too many. Unless your spouse has died. Oh yeah, you want to have, in my opinion, when you're doing that, you should be very choosy. Starman and I did not have sex until the wedding night. And that was 6 years into the relationship. I was very secure in the fact that it's an important thing to do. And how, even though I'm religious, my always thoughts on sex as a whole were, if somebody had sex with me, they now had a certain power of me, which whether you like it or not is true. They now have a piece of you. They have been with you in a way that they can hold over your head. You open your risk of being hurt physically. Somebody in that moment could very much hurt you. They could take photos of you without you knowing. You're open to those dangers as well. You're open to diseases. You're open to unwanted pregnancy, which I think is hilarious. Everyone's like, everyone always connects pregnancy with sex. Crazy. I don't know why we think that. It's an odd connection.
Wait, who said
A
that?
lot of people today who think that they separate sex from pregnancy now. A lot of people do. Because a lot of the argument is, if you're going to have sex, you need to take responsibility and understand you're going to get pregnant. They don't want to hear that. And so, for me, body count is a negative. Very big negative. Go ahead, Faye. Lay it on them.
I think I would say,
Hear you.
I think I'm going to say, considering I'm the expert in this field.
Take your mouth away from the mic. It's hard to hear
Yeah, I did. So I'm gonna say, since I'm the expert in this field, out of the three of us, sex babies. I know I joke about pooping her out, but I didn't actually poop her out.
Although I knew someone that thought that's where they came out of. Well, I didn't know some. My dad knew some. But anyways. So the thing
Is it the same girl that showed you that one fan fiction?
No. My dad's mother's friend thought that that's where babies came out of, and she had 3 kids. You going to bed? Good. Good night, baby.
To be fair,
Huh? Yeah, she had 3 kids. Didn't know where they came out of. But
to be fair, like considering how old this person probably was, I can kind of see why she thought that, knowing the intricacies of giving birth and how that works. I can understand why she thought that, but another thing is, honey, who didn't educate you? Like, who didn't educate? Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, who didn't educate you? I can see kind of how you think that, but someone failed in educating you. I'm sorry.
Right. And the thing is, like, again, this is what it comes down to. In my personal opinion, because I had a friend, and he very much wanted to be with me. And he was not hygienic. Let's start with that. Ooh, okay? His teeth were the color of Trump's skin. All right? So let's start with that. Let's move on to, he loved to brag about how many men he had been with. He'd been with, I think at the time, he told me 6 women he had been with. And 89 men.
89?
89. And he
even that number's high for me.
Is what he told me.
Yeah, that's too high of a number.
That was like, age. To me, that's too high a number for like half of my class. Total. Like for me.
Unless he was lying, even then.
I imagine.
Why would you lie
lying,
about that?
But the point is, to me, you may be a lovely person and we can be friends. But frankly, anything over 2, la croja, no, I don't want to touch it. Because we don't know what the other bodies have been doing. They can lie to you about it. It's just, that is my personal opinion. And I personally feel, this is something where it is rather controversial that I say it. I feel no one in any relationship should have sex until at least a year in. At least. And the reason why,
I'll just exit stage left over here. I'll just leave.
But listen, I've got a reason for it. So a lot of times, a lot of the people I know that had failed relationships, a lot of them had sex within the first 24 hours of meeting that person.
I'm just gonna exit stage left.
There's exceptions to every rule.
I'm just gonna leave.
But listen. Everyone I've known that has had these problems, the relationship soured within 3 years, usually with kids involved at that point, and a way too early marriage, because hormonally, when you have sex, you get the love symptoms, and you will overlook things about that person that are negative. How many times you hear it? What was cute in the beginning annoys me now. How many times you hear it? Oh, the 7-year itch. You know why? Because typically that's when the hormones that drove you to be attracted to that person tend to die down. And I know that that sounds extreme, but when you think about it, guys, how much easier is it to get to know somebody without thinking about how often you guys are having sex, getting to know that person on a personal level? That to me is a far wiser way to do it. And a lot of folks, well, I can't handle that. Why not? If you want to spend forever with that person, do you really need to dick down so quickly? Is it really that big a deal?
I have a counter argument for you, Star, saying about the relationship souring in that period of time.
I know
Okay.
it doesn't always happen. I'm just saying, but that's typically what I see.
I have one counter argument for you.
What?
Quick question: does Starman still flirt with you?
All the time. We've been together almost 20 years. Do you flirt with me too?
A lot of the reasons, like, regardless of how quickly you get into a sexual relationship with your partner, a lot of the reasons too that tie into that is that relationships sour because the things that were fun in the beginning, people kind of get comfortable and stop doing them.
Well, yeah. But that ties into, like, my father has a saying, right? So I've imparted before. I have a video on it in my YouTube. It's from my first year of making them. Here's a rule. Here's 2 rules everyone should keep. No matter how long you've been together, whether you're dating, engaged, or married, that person never stops being your boyfriend or girlfriend, ever. You always chase them. You always spoil them. You always flirt with them. Just because they're married doesn't mean you're you've got them chained. Oh, well, I'm going to put in the effort anymore. No. Matt and I have been together going on 20 years. And I still will be like, baby, what you want? We still smack each other's ass. We still bite all that shit. You always do the flirting shit. Okay? Always. And the other thing is, it's never, I hate the phrase 50-50. It is not 50-50 in a relationship.
No. 100.
100. You give 100% of yourself, which again also leads into this. Open communication is important. But that's the point. A lot of people, and they've done research on this, and I know I'm sounding like pro right now. I promise there's research on it. I just don't have it on hand because it's supposed to be only about...
Boo.
It is a lot of people, when they have sex quickly in a relationship, that becomes most of what they do together. They will still do traditionally coupley things, but a lot of times they don't get to know each other. They don't learn how to properly communicate. How many times do you hear the phrase makeup sex? You don't even know what the argument was about. They don't normally tell you that. Like, oh, we had an argument and then we had makeup sex. Okay, but did you make up? Well, no, we didn't resolve the issue. So you just fucked out your anger with this person. Ew, Natanya, how dare you? But that's the thing, like, when you rely on the sex and the hormones, it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't help you, and it doesn't resolve anything. That's why I say at least wait a year. Spend that first year getting to know that person, know their hobbies, know their picadillos. Don't even live together. Spend that first time just learning each other. Do you have similar interests? Are you able to talk with each other? Can you carry a conversation? A lot of people who get in those situations, they claim they talk, but then when you find out what their talking was, it was in between saying how much I want you, I want this, oh, let's do it. And then they spend hours having sex, and they might have a conversation in the middle. And so it's a thing like that where I tell everybody, it's like Faye was saying, you do have to still flirt. You got to be sweet and kind and loving and all that stuff. But that's why I say at least take a year before you start boinking. Because you might not even learn to flirt with your partner if you jump right into just sex. There's no flirt. There's no chase. There's no nothing.
If you don't wait a year until you start blinking, at least make sure it's someone who can take you out on fun dates. because me and Faye husband over here we did like painting together and went out and did stuff. Motherfucker takes me bowling. You know how boring bowling is, and I still enjoy bowling.
Bowling is
bowling.
fun. Don't you downplay your love for bowling.
I just suck at bowling.
Hey,
My brother has dubbed me gutter girl
gonna give you
because
some
I'm just
homework.
not great.
I'm gonna give you some homework. I want you to ask a whole bunch of people your age if they enjoy bowling and actively go out and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We regularly go out bowling, all my friends and I. We will plan for it.
Peachy's age.
Oh, well.
No, my friends like bowling.
I didn't say your friends. I said people your age. See how many of them
Okay,
actively go out for bowling in their spare time
Oh,
and enjoy it.
that's because all of them think going clubbing is fun. That's expensive.
Well, they actually we used to have a few bowling alleys. Now we only got one.
Yeah, they keep getting rid of them.
We were gonna go bowling about several months ago, but when we got there, all the lanes were full.
Oh, and I dubbed Faye Queen's husband Faye King.
Cute.
No, because that means his title is higher than mine, so we shall not have that.
Faye
Ooh.
Duke?
I mean, why can't the queen be the head of the king?
Yeah, you could be in a monarchy, not a patriarchy.
King is still a higher title.
Not technically.
All right, then you can be the king and he can be the queen.
Right, he can be Faye Queen, you can be Faye King. How about
He can be Faye Consort.
I guess.
It doesn't roll off the tongue the same though.
I mean, that's fair. Faye Bay.
I never saw
But
the
that's
appeal
what the
of
baby
clubbing.
is. Faye Bay is the baby.
Baby.
No, he's Faye Baby.
God no, clubbing is the worst, right? I don't know.
What is the appeal of clubbing though? I never really got that. Besides, I like dancing as much as the next person, but the very thought of being in a room with a bunch of sweaty people and drunk people sounds awful.
It's not the worst, but the thing is,
With loud, booming music that you can barely hear.
I can understand wanting to go out
Dirty
dancing one
floor.
night, but I have found that most of the youth think that is like, I don't understand Coachella. Okay, perfect example.
Ugh,
Mind you,
Coachella.
I'm the kind of girl that did go to raves at anime conventions. I'm the kind of girl that had no problem with having fun. But Coachella? I mean, how many wedgies do you have to go through in a bubbly rainbow field to just really just be like, oh, I'm good? Last time I met at the
I feel like that's something I'd do once and never again.
But the point is, it's like, when it comes to body count, I've gone off about it. Let me ask you two. Starting with, actually, hold on, Faye. I want to know. Peachy was shocked by my body count limit. Peachy,
What?
what's your body count limit?
I never thought about that until this conversation. Like, I know off the get-go, if it's someone told me 100 and I don't know, I'd be like, no. But if I had to actually put a literal number.
What's a reasonable number to you?
This is gonna sound very strange, but I genuinely believe it depends on the person. For example, if I get together with someone and they give me this impression like, oh, I'm a Christian man, I want to have a family one day, I believe in like same-sex marriage, and then you get into the relationship, months go by, and you deep dive a bit more into each other, and then you find out, oh, but I have a body count of 20. That's a bit different from someone that said, listen, I've come from a very harsh background. I've made decisions I don't want to. I'm trying to, fix. I'm working on myself. I can tell you more about my past if you want to. And then he says, I slept with 20 so people, but I'm working on myself. That's a different story.
Okay, my question is this. What is because I get that point, but my thing is.
But even then it's.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Because you said, because what if it was the person working on their past said 100? You said no matter what, you don't care if we're working on their past. It's a no. So there is still a minimum of like, all right.
I don't know that answer.
Like for me,
maybe 10.
The maximum, the maximum, and you have got to have like a whole good story involved is 5. That is like,
I think mine is maybe 10. Because when someone says, "Oh, I've slept with 10 plus people," you're like, "Okay, were you in relationships? Were they flings? Were they?" And here's another thing: a lot of people kind of separated over time. people have separated their sleeping with flings and relationships. So when you ask them how many people have you slept with, they'll probably say, "Oh, 2," not counting the Tinder dates that they've had.
And see, that's
because I've never seen them again. It's fine,
right.
But
Here's
that's still.
If you're only 23 and you've had 10 sex partners, you've done a lot of boinking in very little amount of time in your life, and you've not chosen one.
That also depends on when they started.
Huh?
That also depends on when they started.
Well, exactly. That's my point. You're making bad choices since you were young. How is that going to dictate how smart you're going to be in the future? Nobody includes the person that raped them as a partner.
No, that doesn't count.
I know that, but because if you get into if we get into semantics, some people feel like once they get started, why stop? Type thing.
Point. Bad decision, no matter what. Like, to me, that because the thing is, think about it this way. That means that their perception of stuff is skewed. How am I going to partner with that person that has that skewed of a perception and trust them with important things in my life? I can't risk that. That's a red flag.
I mean, I get that, but I'm going off of the simple fact of let's say you get started at the start of high school, because that's when a lot of people do. 14 years old, right? Until 23. That's 9 years, 9 to 10 years there. To have, let's say, 20 evens out to about 2 a year, which 1 every 6 months I don't see being a big deal, because at least it shows that there was some length there to how long you were with the partner, not boinking them constantly back to back. Now, if you tell me how many do you averagely have a year? 2 a year, I wouldn't be too iffy about. But if you tell me oh, well, I average out to 10 people a year, I'm like, what?
And that's the thing is we dropped. I think YouTube tried to kick us out of a lot of people because that's a big drop for no reason.
No.
So here's what I will tell you. Okay. For me, when I think 6 months, 6 months is not a lot of time at all. It
is when you're young.
But that's my point. It's even for me when I was young. That's half the school year. We're already getting I personally, I get what you're saying. I don't agree, but I get what you're saying.
Now, mind you, I would think a more appropriate body count would be higher than you two, but I also stand by the fact that there should never be an argument or a fight of you asking a potential partner to get tested before you touch them.
If anybody fights you, if they give you a body count of any kind, if it's even one person, and you say, okay, well, I know you've been with somebody else, so I would really like if you had. Honestly, you should do it either way, because they could lie. You can be like, listen, if we're gonna enter the bedroom together, I would like an STD test, and they say no.
Now, I will say it would be fair for you to ask for one, and they say no unless you get one too.
You should be willing to do what you asked for. Jamaria, I will let you know, my brother met his wife on Plenty of Fish.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
And clearly they're still fine. So I guess I've never done online dating, but
I've tried it.
What they said, well, I don't know how your experience was, Peachy, but I will say that
wasn't eventful.
My understanding about any kind of interactions with online is just being not only honest, but 100%, 1000% honest about exactly what you're looking for. Be very open and clear and concise about what you're looking for in a potential partner, and I think you'll be okay.
And then there's another thing too. I got into a fight with someone in Leon's chat for this. Peachy's chat. It was Peachy's chat. I remember because I messaged you about that dumbass motherfucker for calling my husband an idiot. Because I had said something along the lines of, I don't think it's wrong to want to know who the last few sexual partners your significant other has been with, to know who they are. Because there's a thing there where they could be gross, they could be not. You might know them, you might not. just things like that. And I think them telling you that shows a huge sign of trust too. And they were like, no, I wouldn't want to know who my significant other slept with. Why do I need to know it was in their past? It's like, there are legitimate reasons for you to know the people that your significant other has slept with. Okay?
That's
Just
projection.
because you're
They're
worried about
projecting.
being jealous or what's the word? Not jealous, self-conscious
Mm.
does not mean you shouldn't put yourself out there.
Because here's the thing.
I'm awkward.
Let's
I
say
can't
your
do that.
ex was talking about, like, let's say you guys all dated, like, let's say it's all gay, for instance. You're all gay men. Let's say your ex was talking about this really
What a world.
toxic guy they were with. This really toxic guy that was, like, you know, great at first and really sweet, but then turned out to be abusive. And then you find out it's the guy you're currently dating. You know, that's shit you want to know. And I think, yeah, you should be, like Faye said, you need to be 100% honest, and you need to demand 100% honesty. Because, you know, it's not fair to you otherwise. And
That's because California is a shithole.
yeah, I do.
Not the place you want to find a significant other, no.
Again, and Jade, I know about this, and that disgusts me. Disgusting.
I'm just glad that it's still a thing in some places where if you don't share your HIV status and you give someone else HIV, you get a murder charge.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There was a guy a few years ago in Rhode Island. There was a place called Club Hell. That was the goth club everyone went to. Okay. He ran
Golf
in.
club sounds fun.
He was very. He ran in.
Oh.
He was mad at the world. He had AIDS.
Ooh.
He took a needle, stabbed into himself, and then started stabbing people randomly. He tried to give AIDS to as many people as he could. Club Hell shut down now.
I mean,
Not directly because of that, but
it was a catalyst.
it was one of the catalysts because a lot of people stopped going after that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a, like, my hometown, the, like, place that most of my family's from and grew up. There was a guy who went through there, and it's not a good place to live. Like, basically the entire 2 towns are projects. That's basically what you have. You have people who are really well off because they either own property or they're ex-military or they own a business, and then anybody else who has money deals drugs. Like, that's it. Everybody else is poor. And basically everyone lives there like they live in the fucking projects. Like, it's run down and it's not nice. And so you can imagine what some of the teenagers around there are like too. And how some of the girls behave. And there was a guy that came through there a few years back who had HIV, and because he looked nice, he ended up with a few of those girls, and like half the town ended up with HIV.
And that's exactly why I say don't sleep around. And, you know, but I know we've run off the tracks a little bit because I think this was a really good detour. But Faye, what I really wanted was your perspective as a mom thinking about Faye baby someday. Let's say tomorrow you decided you want to make an OnlyFans, and 5 years from now she's in kindergarten and the little boy goes, "Hey baby, I saw your mommy's boobies." Because maybe they were looking for fairies online and their mom wasn't paying attention, and it just so happens Faye Titties comes up and they see you naked.
Is there something brushing against something?
She's playing with a slinky.
Oh, a slinky! I've
And
always wanted one of those.
they're only $3 on Amazon.
No, I keep tangling them, so I stopped getting them.
How? I've got 10 cats and 2
Aw.
dogs. This has been thrown around my room, and mine's not tangled. The baby this sweet.
I don't know. I just end up with tangled slinkies. I just stop buying.
But buying cheap ass slinky.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
ask
probably
you,
it.
So I want you, Faye, you tell me as a mom, do you think it is appropriate for a mother to be an OnlyFans person? And riding off of that, and let's say someone is an OnlyFans, should she give it up when she has her child? And last one, do you think it is negative or positive on the baby? Like, do you think it really matters if the kid knows or how it's going to affect them?
I'm gonna say, because I'm all about semantics, I'm gonna say if the child is young enough, I'm not gonna say it's good. I'm gonna say if the child is young and you're young, by the time your child's gonna be old enough for that to really affect them, you probably would have fallen off way, way long ago. I will say that. So someone who's doing it with young children, I don't see it as being as big of an impact as someone who does it with older kids. Like if your child's 10 or 12 and you start it up, because you're probably not going to fall off by the time they're 14 or 15. And that stuff can be really embarrassing. And then also, it kind of depends too. Like, if you're the type of person, I think, that's grown up around that type of thing, where you kind of know what's going on, not necessarily you know all the details, but you know what's going on. Like, oh yeah, my mom's an OnlyFans model. She has been since I was a baby, whatever. Like, I don't think it's gonna make you as susceptible to being bullied as if it was just something your mom started doing. Because I feel like by that point in time, you're just gonna be like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I think it just comes down to the semantics of it. Is it a good thing for you to be doing, and is that something you should be teaching your children or having them around? Probably not. Honestly, not gonna say probably not. No, absolutely not. But do I think you should quit or stop just because you become a mother? I'm going to say no, and it's also going to be coming down to the reasons, because I'm going to still stand by the same reason like some people become strippers, is because they do it in desperation to take care of their kids. I've seen women demean themselves to make enough money to feed their kids. So I'm going to say it kind of depends on the reason. If you're just doing it because you think, oh, I'm the hot mom, I'm going to make some money online, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of, like, there's a huge audience out there for some MILF content, blah, 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 blah. No. Sit down and be a mom. No. No. Stop, honey. No.
And see, so this is, like, playing off of that, because I get what you're saying, and I agree it's a desperation thing, you know, support your kids. I disagree that they shouldn't stop, because the thing is, they can clearly make money one way. So like I don't think you heard me say it earlier. Now, let's say they get pregnant while they're doing OnlyFans, right? So you're making tons of money while they're doing OnlyFans. What is to stop them from simply saying, okay, I know I've got 9 months to rack up as much money as I can on OnlyFans now, put that money away so I can support myself for a little while with just me and the kid, and then make the plan to go back to a better job, a regular job, so I can raise my child. Because that's my idea. Like you said, it's not morally okay to do around it. And I know what you're about to say, let me get there. Wouldn't it be better to change the mentality that that should not be the easy way you go? There are tons of jobs people can get now really easy with zero experience. They can go in at entry level. Yeah, it's a little more work, but if you're smart and you do it right, you can rise up at that job very quickly and still support your kid and not be degrading yourself.
Okay. So I think Wiz just said it is to not everyone on OnlyFans makes a shit ton of money.
Right.
Like, I think you would probably, there are people out there who make more than they probably would at a regular, like, 9 to 5 or part-time job. But you also have to think about the fact, too, that there are a lot of, let's say, single moms, right? Because being a single mom has become, like, very prevalent in our culture, because there's been so many incentives to be a single parent,
Right.
or to be only parent in household. Now,
Right.
mind you, with that, what's going to be easier on you, making content at home or going out and getting a job? That's one thing to think about too, for some of the reasons that they might do it as a parent. And when I'm saying that you shouldn't stop when you become apparent, I mean, is like right after you have the baby, right? When the baby is still young. We're talking about like Faye baby's age. Like that 1 or 2. I don't think you should necessarily stop when you become a parent. I think you should stop when it gets into the era of causing problems. If that's something you were doing before. Now, when they start getting like 3, 4, start heading off to school, that's when I think you should probably stop, because then when they start getting up to that age where they're more prevalent on the internet, you're more likely to get found out.
Would you think
By
maybe at the toddler age, like when the kid's mobile? Because my thing is like your kid can easily walk in on you while you're doing a video, or your kid could wake up and wander in while you're in the middle of sex on camera, something like that.
But the thing is, too, they can just as easily do it if it's mommy and daddy having fun. Kids do it all the time.
Yeah, but
So
that's different. Like that's not on camera for millions of people to potentially see. That's oops, mom and dad forgot to lock the door.
But unless the kid, like, let's say, unless the kid shows up on the camera, like completely walks in the room and shows up on the camera, what difference is the kid gonna know at like toddler age? I'll agree with stopping at toddler age because you're getting closer to a school age, but it comes down to the little details. Is there's not much difference in a toddler walking in on mom and dad that forgot to lock the door than mom doing stuff on camera. It's still a sexual act that this toddler is like walking in on, is my point. So unless they, what difference are they gonna know?
So like here's the thing. What if mommy is the kind of OnlyFans model that gets trained? And this child isn't just walking in on man and woman, this child's walking in on an entire football team and mom. Now imagine that imprinting on little brains, and now that's whether we like to, this is one thing that, and I'm not disparaging any parents, a lot of people like to say, oh, when they're little, they're not going to remember it. But there's a lot of things that get imprinted on that tiny brain that can cause issues down the line and can change. Like think how many kids we sit there and the whole transing issue and stuff. These are kids that got something imprinted on them. They get confused. They don't understand certain things. I guess what I'm saying is I don't disagree entirely what you're saying, because we're kind of on the same idea. We just have different reasonings behind it. Me personally, I think the moment your child is mobile and can talk and repeat things, I think that is when it should be done. Because the thing is, like, you know, kid walking in on ice cream so good. I want you to imagine children repeat everything. Imagine your kid goes to daycare or preschool and they're going, ice cream so good, ice cream so good, and the teacher goes, yeah, gang, 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 gang. And I want you to imagine now the teacher's going to ask, why is your child repeating this? And then, you know,
I have a video for this.
Oh my
actually, God. I have a video for this.
See, there you go. And so this is the point, like, you know, what this all seems to be circling around is this is a lot of moms who want an easy way out. And I'm not saying I don't get it. You know, motherhood is hard. However,
I feel like, just sorry to cut you off, I feel like the main reason too is I'm talking about the mothers that do this to provide for their kids, because I know the sweetest girl, her dancer name is Sasha. She wasn't a dancer until her cousin brought her in, and she still dances to this day because she's a single mom and she's trying to take care of her kids. But knowing her background, she comes from a place where she doesn't have the skills and was not taught the skills needed to keep or get a job. Because me growing up in the same type of environment, right? I was always taught, like, I was taught skills a little bit better than most about showing up on time, looking presentable for like job interviews, different things like that. But when it comes to being aggressive and choosing jobs, I have the same mindset too when I like look for jobs, like, oh, they want me to know how to do this or they want me to know how to do that. And then it just kind of discourages you, and then you don't have the you weren't taught the skills to be like, okay, be a little bit more aggressive, apply anyway. You never know who's thinking the exact same way as you, and you have a chance to get the job, different things like that. Like there have been plenty of like sales jobs I've just not applied to because they were like, oh, okay, so they want me to know about this stuff. And then finally I like applied to one. I was like, okay, I don't really know all that much about cell phones. Let me apply. And I got the job. So it's just a skill that like my husband kind of helped me get. He's like, just apply anyway, because they say these, but you know, some places will train you on the job even if
Very
they say
much
it's a
so.
requirement. So that's one of the things that I wasn't taught. And also where she lives, it's just a whole mentality of you're stuck here, you're not going to get out, why try? Or if you do try, something holds you back, and then it just makes you discouraged to want to try again, so you go for the easiest option, because it's just a constant cycle of getting your hopes up and then they get crashed and getting your hopes up. Like this girl went through a lot. She had her first baby, I think, at like 16. And then even when I was working with her, one of her baby daddies, because she'll still let them come over and see the kids, like she wasn't against them seeing their kids. One of them came over and did things to her without her consent, just because he thought he had the right to, because she had his child years ago. And that's just kind of the mentality of the place that she grew up in and the place that she's currently still living in, because she doesn't know how to get out. So her only option, really, quick, fast money. I'm gonna be a stripper.
And see, here's I'm gonna get to this in a minute. I have this highlighted for a reason, but this is the thing where I would say schools, middle schools and high schools used to have classes that taught these things. My mom told me about them. Growing up in the 50s and 60s, there were whole etiquette classes teaching you how to don't because I'm gonna get to Wiz, because Wiz, see, you weren't here in the beginning of the stream, so we're gonna get there. And there was whole etiquette classes teaching you how to dress properly for work, how to be on time, how to go apply for jobs. These were things that are taught, and they are taught usually at the Goodwill and Salvation Army. So it's like, again, these are things where the resources are there. But Wiz, we address this. Man or woman is wrong. We definitely see it the same way, but this is mothered or smothered, not daddied or whatever. Like we don't talk about dads as much here. But the thing is, a hoe
Daddied
is a hoe.
or ditched.
Okay, like we stated that earlier. A hoe is a hoe. Man or woman, whatever is dangling or not, we definitely see it the same. Especially because, again, no child, in my opinion, should walk in. Every person that's ever talked about walking in on their parents, it's not spoken about in a fond memory. It's usually a traumatic experience. Every kid that's ever, I can remember twice, I've walked in on family members, okay? When I was little, I walked into my dad once, ran right back out. Holy shit. And one night I had to get downstairs for something in my grandma's house. And I had to crawl back up the stairs. And I'll never forget it. It was her husband. And the man was shaped like he had the big old beer belly. He was naked as a jaybird. And he was silhouetted by the moonlight. And that was the first time I saw a peen. And I wasn't really into peens from then on for a while. I was like, oh, I'll never need a man. And so these were not recounted in my head in fond ways, which is why when Faye was saying, well, it's going to happen, in my opinion, careful parents.
No. I was saying there wasn't much of a difference.
Right. But I was saying, like, and how I go off of it with that is, it may not be much of a difference, but no matter what, it's not good either way for it to happen. And I'm grateful to find most people did not walk in on their parents. Most parents have been pretty good at like, separating that. For me, anytime a parent or child rather sees a parent putting themselves in a degrading situation, whether it be, you can think back like, yeah, my mom was getting berated by my grandma, and I hated just sitting there, and she looked defeated. She had her head down, and she was just letting her talk to her that way. Or, yeah, this kid was bullying me, and their parents were making fun of me. My mom didn't stand up to them. No matter what it is, when a kid sees their parent in a degrading situation, that negatively affects them, because that is the person that's supposed to be their protector. That is the person they go to when they need to feel secure and safe. And so when a kid sees that get broken down, a parent that doesn't stand strong and allows something negative to happen to them, and now on top of it, they profit from it. Like,
Can we agree then the time to stop would be about the time that your child is old enough to understand that it's a compromising position?
I'd say anything to me, toddler. Because the thing is, that's when we're teaching kids no square. You're teaching the kids that no one can touch them in bad places. If there are words coming out of their mouths and they're able to describe, I think that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I said we agreed on it, but we had different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, my reason was just plain and simple. They're mobile now. They are becoming more cognitive of things. Your reasoning is now they're starting to become more aware of the world. They like, so same idea, different approaches. I agree with you. Absolutely. Once the kid is walking around, talking, understanding the world, the kid needs to have that confidence that, because they're not going to understand what a mommy's getting a train run on her for. She's not going to know what that is. But they're going to recognize that mom was in a compromising situation. They may not understand what the situation was, but they understand it's wrong. Kids have a better grasp on that than I think any of us understand. The porn I was exposed to, oh, see, here's a perfect example. Just seeing the porn, all the kids showing you stuff at school, not understanding how you're supposed to be as a woman, and it warped my, yeah, exactly. It warps you because you don't understand what you're looking at, and your brain will process it and create something in your head that you might never get out. So, yes, going back to what you're saying, Faye, I agree with you. I just think maybe we're describing it in two different ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, here's my video though. To touch on what you said earlier, where you were talking about kids repeating things. I'm gonna share my funny for today.
Let's see. I'm ready. Hold on. That's licensed music. Mute it. Okay. What? Oh no, guys! I might go out. I think my internet just died.
Oh no!
The light turned red on
The light turned red, so we're seeing. I've still got internet right now. Completely out of context. Yup. Well, it's like, all right. It's still going. We'll see, but 100%. This video is 100%. My niece. Did I tell you guys about my niece and the handcuffs?
It sounds familiar, but no, maybe.
It was Easter Sunday. Okay? We are at the mall. I am holding my 9-year-old niece's hand. And this very attractive cop was near the Easter Bunny with us. And her mother was with the other kids. And I'm holding my niece's hand. What does a cop usually have on their belts? Handcuffs. And my niece looks over and says,
no.
My mommy has a pair of those in her bureau.
Joey Dragon, stop trying to make me jealous.
What?
Oh, you're trying to make me jealous talking about your 7-month-old saying mama.
And the cop looks at me, because she thinks I'm mommy, and goes, Mommy, she should know that. I'm like, this ain't mommy, this is auntie. That's mommy. And I pointed her immediately. I was like, throw her under the bus. And the thing is, because my niece, and again, we talk about, Faye was saying, the type of kid they are. My niece was nosy as fuck. She would break into everything. So if you know you've got a kid who's going to be breaking into stuff, you shouldn't be leaving stuff out to begin with. And again, so imagine now you've got a nosy kid. I was having the sex talk with her brother, okay? Her brother is older than her by, I think, like 7 years. And so we were having the talk. His mom is not mature enough. She said it herself back then. She's like, I'm not mature enough. Auntie Cassie is. tell him about the birds and the bees. I was having the birds and the bees conversation with my newly teen nephew. The next day, Alexia at school let everyone know she knew what gay people were. Those are men that put penises in each other's butts. And that's because what she was doing was she was going down the hallway just enough so we couldn't see her shadow, and she was listening to the conversation. If you think the kids are not going to listen, if you think the kids are not going to be sneaky, if you think you can hide it from them, they are smaller, they are quieter, and they are faster. And if they don't want to be caught, you ain't going to catch them until they tell them themselves. And that's the thing. I know, I'm already getting tired. I didn't realize it was already 1:30. And I will say, I'm already getting tired, but I've also been a waitress the last 3 days. And, but little ears, big mouth, exactly. And so if you think for 2 seconds, I love you, by the way, I am never on when you're live. Probably why I'm so chatty. I'm assuming you're talking to Faye. Because you know.
I love you 3, by the way. I'm never on when you're live. Probably why I'm so chatty. Thanks for being somewhere these conversations can be had. I love that when there's not solid agreements. Best chats happen that way. What YouTube channel are you coming from, Wiz?
Because we don't get to see that. We only see the little YouTube image. But, oh God. Okay, you want to hear how dumb I am? I'm fully aware that this mic is attached to a boom arm. I went to catch my mic because I thought it was going to fall. Is how tired I am right now. Thank you, folks. And so this is the point is, I think for me, parents should be doing OnlyFans at all. I don't think anyone should be doing OnlyFans. I think that it's America. You have the freedom to do whatever the hell you want. Go ahead. If you want me to sit there and say, yeah, go you, no, you are selling a piece of yourself. And Ruin Leon showed me you all. I'm on Star. Oh, thank you, Wiz. What, baby? You can't wait a little bit.
Yeah. If you want to follow us, we're all on Twitch too. That's where you can find us. Just Peachy, spelled with 2 E's, and then mine would be Fake Queen 94.
Wait.
And then,
No. Starman. Rinse it out, please.
Okay.
and then you have Starsan here. I'm mainly on Twitch. If you want to follow us on our individual things, Peachy has been. I don't know what your schedule is now anymore, Peachy.
There is no schedule.
There is no.
I'm still. A lot has been going on around behind the scenes that I've been trying to focus more so on than not. That's one of the reasons why I've been streaming the schedules I want to stream. Unfortunately,
That's why my videos are staggered. I would love to get videos, but there's 2 things holding me back: schedule and these fucking chairs. When I tell you guys, the battle for a chair. Start a petition. Buy Stars on a good chair. I keep buying cheap ass chairs.
Get a gaming chair.
$700, babe.
Yeah, but they're comfy.
Yeah, but you got $700.
Yeah, I wish.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Get on Amazon, start a registry, and put a gaming chair on there, and set it so that people can crowdfund.
The problem is the one I want you can't get on Amazon. I got
GoFundMe.
Right? GoFundMe at this point. But the point is, it's like, this is a matter of we need to stop telling people, especially single mothers, that they can whatchamacallit. She got woke up by her own sneezing. Oh. Whatchamacallit. Let's all spend a moment feeling bad for Lunil's baby. And meanwhile, Faye
with a booby. Suffer with me.
Meanwhile, Faye Queen's baby is peacefully sleeping her night away. And she made sure of it. I think we need to stop telling people that sex work is okay. I'm sorry, I think we do. I understand that you have the freedom to do it. But the point is, we are telling people it is okay to degrade themselves. We are telling people that it is okay to take what should be the most, whether you're religious or not, whether you're Christian or not, it's a sacred. That is a sacred part of your body. That is giving yourself of the most intimate part of yourself. And a lot of people try to dumb it down and tone it down and make it like, that's not that big a deal. It is. If it wasn't that big a deal, then cheating wouldn't be such a big deal. If it wasn't that big a deal, then having a child that's not with the person you're with wouldn't be a big deal. There is a reason why it's bad. Because 1, there are diseases behind it. 2, there is infidelity behind it. There's just so many reasons why you should be more careful and cherish your body more, whether you're a man or a woman. It is not that, I promise you, it only seems a big deal when you have the hormones raging and you are horny as fuck. And I promise you that is the only reason why it seems like a big deal. And if you're focusing on it, take it from me, I was perpetually single till I met Starman. And it's dangerous. Exactly, Jade. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It is very dangerous.
I'll agree that it is dangerous. And I'm not the type of person to ever tell like a single mother that doing that kind of job is okay. I understand. I feel like depending on your reasons for it, you shouldn't be stigmatized for it. But I also think that there needs to be more of a transparency with other resources out there to help you be able to move on to something else.
And it does. I have a friend who I love dearly, and she was so over-sexualized as a person. She still to this day doesn't understand how to have a relationship that isn't based primarily on sex. She got into very dangerous situations because in her mind, if she wasn't sexually gratified and she wasn't sexually gratifying someone, then the relationship wasn't strong enough. It has fucked with her severely because all her first encounters with relationships as a whole from when she first hit puberty were based on sexual relationships, which is why I don't think kids should be having sex. I agree with Faye. I will not stigmatize you or demonize you because I might get the reason, but I'm not going to validate you. I can say, okay, I can see how that happened, but it doesn't make it right. And you got to reverse. You got to take it back. And the
Like,
thing
how can I help you? Like, what's holding you back?
How do we stop this? How do we get you on a better path? And that's what it comes down to OnlyFans. Being a cam girl didn't even enter my mind until the recession. That is the only reason I even looked at it, because literally I was putting out dozens of applications and there weren't enough jobs for anyone, which is why it's so crazy today. We literally have too many jobs available and nobody's willing to work. So it's fucking crazy. But the point is, you guys, and I know maybe a lot of you, I'm not talking about these girls, I'm not talking about all of you, but the point is, it starts with each individual person. Just like with mental health, which is like Esteban said, it causes mental health issues. You have to assess what is the root cause. What do I say about the body positivity movement and about, like, you know, when you go and get weight loss surgery, okay? We'll put it in simple terms. Why does weight loss surgery and diets usually fail? Because they didn't get to the root cause of what caused them to get fat. So they get a simple solution. They lose the weight, but they go right back to what caused the weight gain. This is the exact same situation. If you don't get to the root cause of why you felt it was okay to put yourself in these situations, then no matter where you get to, like Faye said, if you don't find the help to get out of the situation, if you don't get to the root cause of it, and you don't teach someone the basis that, yes, it's okay to be a McDonald's worker. You don't have to be a McDonald's worker forever. But if you're making the same amount of money than McDonald's that you are as being an OnlyFans worker, just go fucking work at McDonald's. At least you can work up to owning your own McDonald's then. The only thing you own is embarrassment being on OnlyFans. Sure, you might make a lot of money, but because bosses suck. Yes, of course they suck. But the thing is, that's the beauty of it. Once you get experience at one place, you can choose to go to another. I've had some terrible bosses. almost every job I've worked at, the entire staff would hate me. I didn't care. I wasn't going there to make friends. I was going there to make money. The job I'm at now, it's the first time 100% of the staff likes me. Now, that could be because I'm a member of management, and, it's a little different, but this is the first time I've worked in a system where we all get along. We're all friends. We all care about each other, and that's great. But you have to go into jobs understanding that it's gonna suck. And I understand what you're saying, Wiz, and I know it's probably just because, it's funny, but as Frank Sinatra says, that's life. Night, Pablito.
Zamaria, I saw your message. I will probably not. I would say 70% sure I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow because I have a doctor's appointment at noon. So you would only be getting like maybe an hour out of me before I had to drop off the baby across the street and go to my doctor's appointment. So probably not. I don't think I'll be back until Monday or Tuesday. But I should be back for the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday.
But you girls, because that was my closing argument. It's like, we should start just that's my closing statement is we need to take sex more seriously. We need to cherish our bodies more, and we need to stop making sex work the final solution. The final solution should be keep finding a job. Stop making it a safe final solution.
Sex work might not be the greatest thing, but working at sex is.
Take us out with a positive message, woman. I can't.
That was a positive message.
Oh Lord.
It was my positive pregnancy test.
I can't with her. I need someone to be my lo-fi girl while I learn to draw. Listen, maybe I should do a Star Sun lo-fi. Who knows? Make a.
She's talking about.
Leon said I should do a homework
when
stream at some point.
She'll
So
pull up the stream and she'll just listen to me as she does like homework and other things. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be around. I got a doctor's appointment. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It could take a few hours. It could take a few minutes. Look, if I make it back home in enough time to actually have a legitimate, decent stream before my husband comes home, I'll stream. How about that?
Is that really a thing? Okay, so I have to ask a question before Peachy takes her closing statements. Okay, so no shame to anybody. I could never just turn on someone and with them not like just have a video on that's not really any purpose or having just like little gentle noise and just have that play. Is that a thing you guys actually enjoy?
I think it's an ADHD thing because if I'm doing something like working on drawing myself or playing a game, and depending on what type of game it is where it doesn't take your full focus, I will like zone out and space out if I don't have something else like in the background.
But I'm
like,
ADHD.
Yeah, it's just like your attention has to like go. It's one of the things though that attention has to go like two different places. So if I'm playing like Disney Dreamlight Valley, for example, where a lot of it's just brain dead button mashing, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna plant this. So I'm gonna sit here and hold this button down as I play this game. This is boring. What's on TV? Okay, I'm done with this section. Move on. Press it. Okay, what's on TV? Okay, I'm done with this section. What's on TV?
See, I that was a long time ago for me. I like if I'm playing like that's why because like I cannot. If like a lot of folks are like, oh, you should do a video game stream. No, because then I gotta talk to you people. No offense. I want to play my game. I don't want to focus on none of you. I want to focus solely on like I am very much a tunnel vision ADHD. I am very much like nothing else matters. Everything else fades away. Nothing else exists except this thing I am looking at. And so for me, having all that stuff, so I guess I asked because maybe what I'll do is one day when I'm just sitting here doodling, I'll record like a 5 hours of me doing that shit, and I'll put like license-free music to it that's apparently lo-fi I'll make that for you. I don't fucking know.
See, my thing is, like, when I'm playing games by myself, it's usually brain dead, like, games that don't take a lot of focus. Now, I do playthroughs when I game on stream, and they don't get my full attention. Like, I'll check chat, because, like, how it works is I have the console on the TV, and then I have, like, OBS and everything on my laptop. So I'll just be sitting here playing the game, looking at the TV, and every so often I'll just, like, look over. And then I'll go back to the game and answer whatever comment that I happen to see. So it's not that hard and keeps me focused on the game. But when I'm playing something that doesn't require a lot of focus, like Disney Dreamlight Valley or Stardew Valley, or like one of those like farming sim type things, where it's just a lot of brain dead stuff, you don't have to think about it, you don't really have to focus because you know what you're doing. I'm just all like, okay, I don't want to sit here and watch her like plant stuff for like 25 plots. I just have to hold this button down. So I'll have something on in the background on like YouTube. Like, okay, I'm gonna hold this button down, I'm gonna look this way.
Oh, see, no, my if I do anything else with Stardew Valley, I will play music. Cannot be anything I gotta listen to too closely or songs that I like too much, because then I'm gonna get because I do a lot of my Stardew, I get a little complicated. I'm one of those idiots that like does all these complicated designs and everything else, and like I'm like, I've got a plot in advance, I've got a plan for the next season. I really want like, I am a person who takes it very seriously. So again, like, but the games that I play, like I play the new Zelda games. I play freaking Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. I'm playing games. I don't like to play a lot of mindless games, and if I am playing a mindless game, I don't know. I'm glad not a lot of people want to hear me play video games, because literally it would just be me going, son of a bitch! Like, and then nothing. Just silence for the whole...
Oh, no. I'm like... So, this is the current playthrough right here. And you should ask Aaron how many times I curse these characters out for no reason other than me wanting to talk shit to these characters for like no reason whatsoever. Like an enemy will attack me, I'll be like, you son of the bitch! I'll just start saying the most horrendous shit. And then if they start making like stupid fucking comments, like the characters will talk to each other and make stupid fucking comments, like, get the fuck out! That was stupid! Why the fuck would you say that?
Right. See, and this was just an aside from it. I had to ask this question. This is the point. I wanted to get that question out because I'd never heard of it. Peachy, you didn't answer it. Do you think the lo-fi is something that you would need? Is it something that you enjoy?
Yeah, Lo-Fi Girl is my homework girl. Actually, it's changed. They have a new Lo-Fi boy.
Yeah, because
he's
YouTube
now mine. I like that.
YouTube yanked it after years.
No, it's still up.
Yeah, they pulled it down. They had to put. I think that's how they got it back up. But after they pulled it down, they had to make the Lo-Fi boy, I think, as a result. I forget that, but it was around that thing. But,
no, they made Lo-Fi boy. He streams like what's the theme? Like something waves. Electro waves. I like the beats to his better than Lo-Fi Girl. I like Lo-Fi Girl, but I don't like it too much. But going back to I have to listen to, similar to Fae Queen, white noise. There has to be some sort of white. But the difference is between me and Fae. Well, I get what Fae Queen does. Every once in a while, I'll bounce back and forth between two different things. But there's something that I need to focus on. But to focus on something, I need multiple things happening as white noise in the background, such as it being Lo-Fi Girl, whether it be some, I don't know, neighbors partying or something. Like something has to be happening. If it's dead silence, I cannot. I like the saying, the silence is too loud or something like that. That's what it is for me. If it's too quiet, I can't sleep. I can't focus. Like I can hear the sound of my own heartbeat and it's distracting. It's really strange.
So
that's how I watch his videos. I'll just throw one of his videos up on YouTube as I play a game and just listen to him bitch in the background.
See, now what Peachy said is I can't stand dead silence unless it's like it has to be the right situation. But I will say, all I gotta do is put on music. That's it. That's all I need is the music. I don't need video, nothing else. And then I can just get to work. Mm-hmm. What I just realized, guys, is I am ADHD advanced. I have finally breached the level that these ladies must achieve. I have
yet to be sincerely tested. At my years, it's a year out. Wait, it's stupid.
But yeah. But all right, going off of all that, I just wanted that answer. I appreciate that. I guess I'm gonna have to start making shit like that. Anyways, Peachy, your closing statements about OnlyFans, body counts, and all that jazz. And
I agree with a lot of what you ladies said tonight. I do disagree with, however, with what a little bit of what Faye Queen mentioned. One of it being, I actually wrote it down. You mentioned that OnlyFans shouldn't necessarily matter when the kid's very young, such as like being an infant, maybe being 2-3 months old or something along the lines of that. And
we're talking about, when I was saying that, I was referring to how quickly the internet moves and how quickly people how quickly it moves, how quickly people forget things, or it's just not relevant anymore. So like my point was, if you do OnlyFans when your child is like 1, 2, 3, by the time that they're getting old enough that it would be embarrassing to them, 12, 13, 14, right? Where kids would actually start teasing you about that, different things. They're starting to get their hormones and go through puberty and get more interested in those types of things. But if you had quit when your child was like 2 or 3, chances are they're not going to really find out that your parent was an OnlyFans model because of how long ago it was in that situation, because of how quickly the internet moves.
yes and no, I'm going to disagree with that. And feel free to rebuttal, because I don't have any, there is really no merit to what I'm about to say. But it's not the bullying within kids I'd be concerned about. If you decided to, if hypothetically there's a mother out there, right, who stopped OnlyFans after her son or daughter turned like 2 or 3 years old, because like you said, that she doesn't want it to catch up with them in the long run. It's not going to affect their group. It's going to affect the parents. So when Sally, your little daughter Sally, wants to go on a play date with little Susie, but little Susie's mother knows little Sally's mother did OnlyFans, it's going to make her uncomfortable. So she'll probably tell little Susie, hey, you shouldn't be playing with her. Maybe you should find other friends. And then all of a sudden, your daughter isn't friends with a lot of these other girls. And you're like, hey, what's going on? How come my daughter's not interacting with these kids? This could be a stretch.
I think
but I think it's a possibility.
I'm gonna say it's a stretch, because the reason I'm gonna say it's a stretch is you have a point. You do have a point, but okay. So what's the difference between from them saying you can't play with little Susie because their mom did OnlyFans, when there's so many other reasons that parents don't let their kids play with other kids? So many reasons. Like, some people don't do it because they don't like their parents' job. Some people don't do it just because. How many times has your parents not let you go hang out, or told you they didn't want you to be friends with someone else because of whatever reason, and their reasoning was really just because I said so? I just don't like them. I just don't like their parents. Like, people tell their kids they can't play with each other for so many reasons. It happens all the time. So to the kid's mind, right, you're not going to tell the kid that the reason is OnlyFans. So what difference does it make?
True. Very true. But my other argument that I had written down was, and again, this is also a stretch, but it's still a possibility, future blackmail. Like, if your kid decides to go be an athlete or won the prize for number 1 at the talent show or something, kids are going to be resentful. This is coming from someone who won a talent show and everyone hated me. That's a whole other story though. So those mean kids can go back and they'll find something, and that something might be your mom's history.
Like, I'm not saying they won't find it, and I'm talking about the fact that, like, things fall off the internet, like, people forget about them. We're not talking about someone actively searching it out. Now, yes, that can happen. I'll admit that that's a point, that can happen if you're actually actively trying to search someone out to find their history online. That's one thing. But I'm referring mainly to the point of kids passively finding something out, right? Like, they get on OnlyFans, somehow they hack their brother's or their dad's account, and they're looking through like all the people that are OnlyFans, and then they happen to find your mother because she's actively on OnlyFans. The chances of them finding your parent that did OnlyFans 10 plus years ago, just by being nosy, hormone driven little shits, it's going to be a lot lower than them, like, actively, because I feel like if you're the type of person that actively goes looking, and we're not talking about the bullying or people getting jealous. I feel like if you're the type of person that actively goes looking to see if your friend's parents did anything that year ago, it kind of makes you the weirdo. It's like, hey dude, I'm gonna look and see if your mom did anything like weird, like when you were a baby. Like, that's gonna make you seem like the weird one to your friends. You see what I'm saying?
But I'm not saying friends will do this. I'm talking about the bullies.
Yeah, I just addressed that. I was like, your point is different than the point I was trying to make.
No. I think we're seeing the same thing, but you're saying that because the chances of it being because it's been so long, it's not really going to be as effective as it would be if you were 12.
Finding it out. You're talking about using it as a blackmail
maliciously,
that they're actively looking.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say overall is I'm going with Lady Star Stan says, if you plan on having kids, OnlyFans should be an afterthought. There is never, I strongly do not believe that there's any sort of goodwill that comes after doing OnlyFans. It's not going to be forgotten.
No,
someone's going to remember, and someone's going to be shamed no matter what. And I guess that's my point. Even if it happened so long ago, it takes one person to just kind of snowball from there. And even if that one person is like countries away, the fact that the possibility of them finding out is still out there, and the fact that it can potentially ruin your reputation, your reputation, your family, is kind of, what's the word? Sad, maybe? Life-threatening, perhaps? But it's the fact that it's even there, and you're putting yourself and your family at risk just doing it in the first place. That's the part. That's why I don't agree with the fact that anyone. And if you really want to do it, don't have kids. That's what I would say. If you really even don't have kids, don't think about having kids. If you are 100% sure you don't want
people who. Would you say the same to people who are strippers when they were younger? Because there are plenty of people, for example, who were strippers when they were young, and they've had kids, and people still remember them being strippers, but they have a very decent place in society. Not necessarily all the way up there, not saying that every parent likes them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's come back to fully bite them in the ass 10 years later.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong too about it, because I don't know a lot about stripping. One of the two differences for me personally between something like OnlyFans and stripping, OnlyFans are pictures and videos that last forever. When you're a stripper, I don't know how often people go in and take pictures of strippers and throw them around and pass them out. If there's like pamphlets or something, I don't know how often that occurs.
They're not
but
supposed
OnlyFans
to,
is like a stamp.
Do it all the time. You can find videos of it online. You can go onto porn websites and find videos of people stripping. You can go onto the Facebook pages of places like that and find videos and photos of it that last forever.
I have a rebuttal to technically both of you. So, what I would say is this then. I think if you're going to be a stripper, and again, I mean no ill will to anyone with it, I do believe that, yeah, it is something, because you get exposed to a part of the community that you're a part of that could be very negative in your child in the future. That being said, I agree that with Peachy, and I'll get there, unlike with OnlyFans, where it is entirely 100% posted online, and it is quite easy not only to take those photos and put them online, but it's almost always associated with your real name. On the flip side, when you're a stripper, you almost always have a stage name. You're always done up a certain way. You're in a low-lit area, and you're moving fast. So usually whoever's taking that video or photo of you, to begin with, your real name's not attached to it. Second of all, it's very hard that they're going to know it's you. Because no matter what, it's going to be hard to get the video right. So I would say, in that context, while I still believe that, no, you really shouldn't do it either way, that is a lot easier to stay hidden. And it would take a lot of research and a lot of searching and a lot of refined search like someone would have to know your mommy was a stripper. Okay, it's first of all. Second of all, they'd have to know her stage name. Third of all, someone had to get the photo, and that's the thing. Like you said, yeah, it happens, but that would mean every single stripper, you'd have to know the resource for every single photo. So it's not. You can't compare the two, Faye. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but if I was gonna say the risk, it's a lot riskier with OnlyFans than it is with strippers. Hey, I have my hand raised for a while. You gotta wait. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna rebuttal you because if we're gonna talk about OnlyFans versus being a stripper, I'm gonna say it's probably about the same because, mind you, OnlyFans is online, right? So considering like most OnlyFans models don't get hugely famous if you're doing it, and then on top of that, most of the people that would see your content, and I get what you're saying about it being attached to your name, most of the things that you see that would be related to that content is going to be people that are, most of them are going to be nowhere near you. When it comes to you working at a strip club, you're probably working somewhere locally to where you live. You're going to have someone that comes in there that's going to know you by name, whether you know them personally or not. Some you went to school with, someone you worked with at a previous job. Someone's going to know you by name. And then it becomes a thing of, is it possible that someone in town is going to know that I'm doing OF? To now, almost everybody I know knows I'm a stripper because it got out. And it's actually people that you know.
It online. Like, I'm talking, because I think that's we're having two different conversations. That's why I say don't be a stripper at all, because everyone in town's going to know that's Maddie Mae. She's the stripper at the Foxy Lady. What I'm saying is your kid just online randomly coming across your photo. That's what I was referring to. It's a lot easier if you have an OnlyFans for a kid to find your photo, but compared to you being a stripper. But what you're saying just solidifies my point earlier. If you're going to plan to be a stripper, don't plan to be a mom. If you are that much, you want money, if you become a stripper in town, like I can tell you right now, I know the exact strip club in my town that there was a woman who used to come to the gas station, and I was like, she always kind of a little tweaked. She had a baby carrier with her, and everyone said, yeah, she's one of the ones down over there. And I was like, so no matter what, everyone knew who she was. They all knew what truck stop she was at. They all knew what she did. She had a kid. And this was going back 10 years ago. So now that kid's going into middle school. Everyone still knows who his mom was. And so that just cements my point and what Peachy said. If that's the case, then don't be a stripper at all. Because like you said, this isn't just people are going to find out online and it's going to be embarrassed. This is everyone in town, including your best friend's daddy, might have seen your mom's titties. And they all know. And they all think less of her for it. So that's just...
Because also I think the point that I was making that me and Peachy were having two different conversations is because I'm talking about passively. So like, for example, the whole like calling thing that came out, tell me how many times you've gone through YouTube since it started. What was it, 2 months ago? Tell me how many times you've gone through YouTube and have seen a video that is addressing the calling thing. Just passively come up on your feed.
The calling thing. Hold on. What are you referencing?
Ukulele calling.
The NPC thing you mean?
No. You ever heard?
Colleen. Okay, I thought you were saying calling as in phone. No. I'm like, calling who? I was so confused. Okay, calling. Oh my god, yeah.
So when was the last time that you saw something come up about her and that whole situation passively on, let's say, your YouTube feed or your TikTok or your Facebook? Because I'm talking about people finding it passively. Because now if you want to look up anything about the Colleen, like ukulele, apology video, everything that's going on, you have to search it out. Because I watched a few videos on it, and when I scroll YouTube, there's nothing about her. Because the internet moves so
see,
fast.
For me, I still see it referencing it because I watch a lot of people that review other.
Yeah, that's an algorithm thing.
Right, and not on top of
But
that,
that's what I'm
fucking
saying. Like finding it passively 10 years down the line.
That's what I'm saying. Passively, I'm seeing it like so. Someone was talking about who was it? A different YouTuber, not even related to all of it at all in any way. And they brought up Colleen and they brought up her ukulele. And it wasn't even involved in this at all. But as I'm saying, so like I still am finding it. I'm still finding people referencing it. I have friends who reference it in their videos. Toxic gossip train, exactly. People are still on about it.
But I'm talking about referencing it in their videos compared to
Yeah.
making a whole video about it.
Well, that's the thing that's different, but I'm still finding it. I'm still seeing that one. What's his name? The meat guy made of her animating it, like, and then
Meat
on top
Canyon?
of that, huh?
Meat Canyon.
Right, and then you've got Swoop. Swoop is still releasing videos about it. So every once in a while, the algorithm picks it back up again. So it's like, and Swoop is technically
I keep missing those streams.
huh?
Xylee streams her reactions to those Swoop videos, and I keep missing them because I'm busy with homework.
And so it's like the point at the end of
Or
the
work.
day is, I think, and so that way we don't keep going around in a circle because now it's 2:05. Is exactly one is once on the internet, it is forever. The internet does move fast, but it is still there.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
what it
that's my
comes down
point.
to is,
I was talking about passively finding it. Like a kid 10 years down the line, right? Just happens to be like, there's going to be like absolutely no chance that this kid is going to get on OnlyFans. I'll sneak off some account, get on OnlyFans, and just passively find their friend's mom on OnlyFans from 10 years ago.
but
like,
it's talking about finding the
passively.
friends. It's you got to realize this generation coming up is. I'm gonna put a caveat in that. You know, that's because our generation never grew up thinking I'm gonna Google them or I'm gonna look them up or this program is now. The generation coming up now, they're gonna know OnlyFans existed. So the first thing they're gonna be is like, I don't like Jimmy. I hate Jimmy. I'm gonna find out everything I can about Jimmy. So now they start researching Jimmy's mom. Jimmy's mom's names come when I'll Google this. I see a naked lady from an OnlyFans. Now OnlyFans might not even exist, but the pictures might still be there. That's what I'm saying. It's like our generation didn't think like that. See, again, we're thinking before. We're thinking the world where kids didn't do that. But kids know what OnlyFans is. A mom is showing up in the car drive to drop off and pick up kids with OnlyFans advertised in the back of her fucking car. And a kid's gonna see that and then they're gonna Google it. And that's gonna stay in their heads. So this is the thing is like, while I don't disagree with you, if we were talking about kids from before 2015, 2016, now is different. These new generation, this next gen, they are going to be looking that stuff up.
So, but you're still going with it being actively searching. Like that's someone actively looking for it. I'm talking about passively. I'm talking about specifically passively. You might be right about me thinking like way back when, but I'm also like I'm talking passively. Someone who's like prevalent on OnlyFans now, if they quit 10 years down the line, if someone is passively looking through OnlyFans, looking for another model, looking for someone to see, you're not going to find little Timmy's mom passively searching on that
Literally,
site.
she was viral, just like how on Pornhub. So the thing is, if you ever look on Pornhub, right, you go on there, and if you go on there and you see, sometimes videos show up that are nothing in your algorithm, nothing that you searched, but they're one of the most popular videos, or they're on the recommendation, or they just come up because if it is something that was considered popular, it'll push it back in. It won't be passive if the mother is still doing it. Exactly. So, and we're also going off the fact that what if the mom didn't stop? Because the initial conversation is no matter what, if the mom is still doing OnlyFans, then it's not passive because she'll still be in the algorithm somewhat.
I also would feel like it's very difficult for someone to put down something they're making so much money off of.
Right.
If they're making even if they're making something as simple as 100. I had the statistics pulled right here. It says on average people are making 180 a month on OnlyFans. Not a lot. Maybe to some people it is. So if someone told you tomorrow to put the phone down and stop doing OnlyFans and delete your account, and they said, okay, would you trust them to do that right away? I would argue it's similar to people who smoke. right? Hey, put the cigarettes down. It's bad for you.
How much
Okay,
are
let me
you
stop
making?
tomorrow.
How much are you smoking a day? Because I quit smoking cold turkey.
Well, I can tell you
Yeah, I've
right
heard
now,
people. My grandfather did that apparently, but I heard it's very, very, very difficult,
It
and
is.
not everyone can do it.
and here's what
Like
I will
I'm
tell
talking
you.
on average.
As
By the way, good for you. By the
yeah,
way,
Faye can speak from experience about what she saw. I can speak from experience as the person who I'm assuming due to the size of my audience, I make the most online. That's about how much I make a month, and I still haven't dropped it. I could very easily completely drop all this. I don't have to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning streaming. This doesn't make me a lot of money, but it helps support the very meager amount of money I make on YouTube. So the thing is, yeah, I do believe they still do it because again, that's $180 they didn't have. So that is gifts for the kids. That is outfits and shoes. For me, it's gas, it's pet food. It's so yeah, even though it's not a lot, when you've already built that up, you still want to hold on to it. And so for me, I have that built up and I can stand to make quite a substantial amount of money. And that's where it comes in. So you can sit there and say to yourself, well, I'm not making enough right now, but if this video comes out, for instance, like maybe I'm making a Tess Holiday video. I know that Tess Holiday can get me up to 20,000 views, maybe more depending on the month. So then I keep it up. And then what do I do to make sure I pad it? Well, now I've got the Patreon, so that way I can still support doing this stuff. So that way it all circles in. So I can say absolutely, even for meager amounts, if they think that that the risk is there, I'm a perfect example, and I'm not even showing my titties. And so I do think they would do it. I do think they would keep it up, especially if it's considered easy. Because what I do, if it was super easy, I'd be able to balance it easily on top of my job. But ask any of my followers. I used to regularly, every week, I was releasing shorts. I was always on time for my streams, and my videos were on time every week. The moment I started work, everything changed. I couldn't keep up with it because a regular job is very hard to keep up with an online thing. But if all I had to do was get in front of the camera and orgasm, turn it off, and still make the same amount of money, that's all I'm saying. Not doing it though.
Damn. I was searching you out too. I had to make sure little Timmy's mom wasn't on OnlyFans.
So I guess it's just for me, it's like I see exactly what Faye is saying, and I do believe that part of that comes down to we do see it through a slightly innocent light because we're like, well, we wouldn't do that, we wouldn't look that up, but today is different, and the world keeps on changing, and I guess my hope is that for Faye Babe, that she won't
She
have
doesn't find out that mom did OnlyFans.
Yes. No, but for Faye, that's something where, she's not going to have to see a lot of kids talking about that stuff. With you, she doesn't have to worry about it. The only thing she finds is you talking to me and Peachy and playing video games.
Seeing her as a baby as I pull up the camera, and then I'm going to be like, haha, see that right there? I had my boobie in your mouth.
And see, but that's normal mom stuff. So I guess it's just for me, I don't know, maybe I'm getting to the rambling stage, but for me, I guess, in my opinion, I think all three of us have still come to the same conclusion, just different reasoning. None of us believe it's okay to be an OnlyFans parent. And none of us believe it's even okay to be a sex worker of any form as a parent. That it's a choice you have to make. And when you are a parent, yes, we can logic out why you might make that choice because of money. But that money, especially in today's era, is no different than money you would make at a regular 9-to-5. So instead of degrading yourself, educate yourself enough to get a better job. And Axel, the chair moves, kid. He keeps trying to get on me, but the chair moves. So it's
Don't let life beat you down into feeling like you have no other choice.
Exactly. So again, the point is we understand that it happens. And so what should be happening is we're teaching these people there is a better way. So that's what it comes down to. In my opinion, that's what I've gotten from this conversation is that we all agree that it's just not a good and viable choice. And it's not a healthy mental choice for you at the end of the day. What do you think? Would you
Yeah,
girls say it's an accurate description?
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I would argue there are more cons than pros to websites or joining websites like OnlyFans, but we're trying to blanket all the cons and just consider the pros and the 1%ers. Like, oh, they made it. Bella Thorne can do it. That's another thing I don't like. A lot of people don't talk about. People like Bella Thorne, Cardi B, talking about, oh, look how much we're girl bossing it. We're making all this money. You want to be like us?
Yeah, Cardi B's
But
totally
they're the
girl
1%.
bossing it after she got her big break, robbing, Blaine, and Rufy and them when she was a fucking stripper, dumbass fucking cunt.
Yeah, right?
I know. It's not bad because, I don't know,
Cool.
she's rich now and she's black.
She's not black.
She's not? Oh, she's Hispanic.
Why does
That's
Cardi
another
B
thing.
act
People
black
want to get
then?
all uppity. That's one thing I hate about her. People want to get all uppity about who says the N word and she drops it like fucking crazy and she's not even black.
I thought she was. I deadass did not know until this moment that she wasn't black.
The only reason I remember she's not black is because I think I once heard her speaking like Spanish or Portuguese or something like that, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's Spanish. She also is in a lot of like Spanish-esque music. She did a song with some DJ and Selena Gomez where most of the songs in Spanish. Yeah, she's not black.
I really had no idea. None.
No, we learned something new today.
Right?
Yay.
But this is my. I thought she was black. I thought she was black. She definitely represents herself as black, and she went and got herself nose. She got her nose thin.
She's not black. She just looks the part and she's ghetto as fuck. And she needs to, like, someone needs to hide her away somewhere so I don't have to look at her fucking dumbass face ever again.
I hate that she went and got plastic surgery because she really was pretty before the surgery.
What does she look like now?
She got her nose thinned down, and I think she trimmed up her forehead and she trimmed up her chin. I am not a component of plastic surgery, but
I'm not against it. I think there are the exceptions, obviously. Like, if I were, like, for example, the people who are born with like the lip in their nose, what's that called again?
Cleft
There's a
lip.
specific disorder, a cleft lip,
but that's not
or
the same
maybe
thing. That's corrective surgery.
There are people who get plastic surgery not to make themselves look better, but to make themselves more comfortable. Some people get breast reductions instead of getting their breasts bigger because they just can't handle having the tatas that they do.
Right. Well,
I'm not against it, but then there's the going too far, like apparently Black China, like
And
that's
Madonna.
like Madonna is a mess.
I do. I hate
saw
Cardi
her.
B.
Oh my lord! I'm looking at Cardi B right now.
No, I don't hate Nicki Minaj.
I think she's pretty. I think she's pretty.
I don't have a problem with Nicki Minaj. Fun fact, Nicki Minaj is classically trained.
What I like
What's that
about anyone from Nicki Minaj before were at least and even though I didn't like their music, they were at least R&B and rappers and hip hop people that appreciated and understood old music. None of them do now. It just
There's
doesn't-
very few, yeah.
they don't understand that there's other music outside of it. Anyways, here's what I'll say, girls. I think this is a great conversation. I think we all had a very good intel. What I think is unique and remarkable about this is that all three of us come from very different perspectives. Faye comes from a perspective where she was exposed to a lot of this, and you come from a perspective where you're completely shielded from a lot of it, and I come from the perspective where I was knowledgeable of it. And all three of us still come to the same conclusion that no matter if we can understand the reasoning, no matter if we can understand the desperation, no matter if we can understand any of that, we're all in the same conclusion that it's just not good and it's not right and it's not healthy. And so I think that is the best lesson to learn about this. And I think, if you're watching this afterwards, if you're watching this in the afterplay, go ahead, leave a comment down below about, do you think we've missed the mark? Anything? Is there any opinions you didn't hear? Is there any experiences you have for it? But if you're someone out there in my audience and in Faye's audience or in Peachy's audience, and you're thinking about doing this, understand that listen to this whole conversation and understand this is not your only option. You can literally go to almost any job that's a retail level without experience and work your way up.
There are also
Oh, go ahead.
a lot of places too where you can go and get some type of job training. They will help you, and it's usually completely free. Whether it's
Or college. Some will pay for your college.
yeah, some places will help you like get your resume, make it look a certain way. Um, I recently found out there's like this website you can go on and it's actually accredited and you can get certificates and it takes you like an hour. I'm like certified in HR now for no fucking reason. And it took me like an hour to do and you can put it on your resume to help build it up to get jobs. And I don't know shit about HR.
Medical billing and coding, that is what, a 4-month process, but that's a job that's always needed. There are always ways you can make money at a job that'll give you a reasonable time frame to work in. And if you have kids, no offense, but it is exceedingly rare that you are someone who has kids and has zero support system whatsoever. You probably have a support system. You're just gonna reach out to them. Look at Faye. Faye made a support system. You if you don't have one, find a healthy one. You reach out to programs, you reach out to industries, you reach out. There is always a way. And I think that's what we should leave off on, ladies. It's my personal opinion is there's always a way. Desperation should never be the total. Like, here's what I will tell you. Desperation is what made me do YouTube. And I got very lucky on it. But I also had my husband working as a backup. And I was working for no system. So even when I did this as a desperation, it was not my only thing. I made sure I had not just one, but 2 backups. I technically have a steady job right now, but I'm still right here. And I had taken on another job on top of it. There's always another way.
I think I want my ending statement to be I can't wait for the day that Cardi B falls off so hard that people are just like, Cardi who?
And on a positive note, woman.
That is my positive note.
That is not positive.
It's very positive. Makes me feel positive. How about that? I'm gonna have
I'm gonna end on the fact that.
What is your ending statement?
I got a pimple in my nose that I have not been able to look away from for the last 2 hours. And it's really bothering me.
Well, I will tell you right now, none of us saw it.
Now you do. It's noticeable.
I can't see it. I still don't know where it is.
You can't? Oh, I can see it. It's like right
There's
here.
literally a white spot of light. I see nothing. Stop trying to show it. We can't see it, woman.
No, it's bothering me.
Because it hurts. But my question
No, it doesn't hurt.
And
It's
according to the
bothering me.
conversation, how do you feel?
I feel like we covered a lot. I feel like we covered most of it. What I wanted to talk about, at least. And this is, by the way, going off. I also want to acknowledge the fact that we are overall looking at this as privileged Americans. I don't know how popular OnlyFans is. I don't know how popular OnlyFans is or other other sites, if there are any other sites outside of the States. Because especially in like third world countries, that's a completely different conversation to be had.
Yeah, that's usually slavery at that point.
Yeah, unfortunately. But we're going off of what we know, right, as women. Because hate America, love America. We all have to acknowledge that we are quite literally one of the freest countries in the world.
No, we're oppressed.
Listen. That's a little bit. There's more layers to that to unpack. I get it.
You guys are black.
Overall,
we're all women. We're oppressed.
Yeah, and Peachy, I'm more oppressed than you because as we have come to realize and learn, I'm blacker than you, Peachy.
No, no, I refuse. I don't know what you're talking about.
Numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie.
But then that's going back what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I never told you, ladies. I found out I have a distant cousin, like a third cousin, who lives in Australia. Yeah, he reached out to me recently, and he was like, "Hello." Did he start with "Hello, mate"? That'd be amazing.
Hello, mate.
But as I just want to let you know that as I'm reading his message, I was reading it in Bandit Healer's voice. But he was like, "Hey, apparently I have some like Cape Verdean relatives. I just want to reach out because apparently we're like blood related." And it's very interesting because I looked at his profile picture and there was him and a few family members. They're all Caucasian, so I'm like, "There's a story behind this." And I have no idea where it goes.
Listen, that's the question. That is
So yeah, that was interesting. I got some family in Australia.
But that's my
That was
question
cool.
for you is that yes, obviously let's state the elephant in the room. We're speaking from Western women percent.
Yes, very much
Respect.
so. Because there are again the argument. Oh, but what about the women who literally don't have anyone and they
I
live
hate
in,
people
like,
do
in a
that.
third world country? Like we're talking about, they reach.
What about
when again when people hear the terms? If you ask someone today off the street, is sex work? Their guttural answer is going to be yes, and then you'll ask them why, and they'll reach for like the deepest, darkest reasons as to why people do sex work, or they'll reach for the whole positivity movement. There's no in between.
Right.
Maybe both, maybe one or the other. They're never gonna say, "Oh, it's acceptable when you're a single mother and your husband dies." Like they're gonna reach for it pretty much. Again, like as Faye Queen. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going to say that anything you put hot take, anything you put a significant amount of time and effort into to get paid for is work.
Yes.
Not necessarily good work, because you still have things like criminals, con artists, what have you, that they put a lot of time and effort into making a lot of money and not doing it in the best way. It's still work.
I agree.
I
And
just don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Right. What Peachy said, like, we'll gutturally say it's yes. We won't say, yes, it's bad work, or it's unethical work, or it's not good for you, whatever. But we'll just say, yes, it's working. Yes, it's valid. Well, obviously, they're making money. It's good for them. And this is where
they feel better about themselves. They're feeding their children. They'll reach, but they won't tell you they'll show you what you see in front of the curtain. They're not going to pull the curtain itself to show you everything else.
And it's just like how they justify stealing. Oh, they're not stealing because they're looting. They're stealing because they needed those TV.
They're black doggone it.
Right. Needed those. It's the same exact thing. There's always an excuse.
There's a huge difference between your ass going into a Walmart and stealing like Hot Pockets and a frozen pizza to feed your kids for the night, and going in there and stealing fucking gaming consoles, video games, and shoes.
Faye.
Yep.
They're gonna eat those tonight. That is how they're feeding their kids, dang it. Xbox is very filling.
But they're just doing it to sell it to the rich people so they can make more money so they can feed their kids. See, there's always going to be the reaching people.
Jay, don't make
who will find something somewhere.
Don't make me sing.
There ain't no rest for the wicked.
Money don't grow on trees.
They can get us for that now too. These motherfuckers get us for everything.
Did you hear? I was half asleep, half dead to the world while working on homework on one of Xylie's really late streams, and she got suspended for like 10 minutes for playing the Among Us sus theme. That
oh my god. But all right, ladies, I think
it was funny. YouTube's great.
We've gone 35 minutes over what we wanted to do.
So Yay!
You can see me. Hopefully this Thursday I'll be releasing a new video. I'll be on tomorrow night with Miss Hara Murata for the Animal Show, Star Murata Animal Show, and then Tuesday I'll be here live at noon to chat and draw. Faye, when are you gonna be on next?
I'll probably be on Tuesday. I'll probably stream tomorrow, as I promised Amaria, if I get back in time. If I'm not home, I want to say by 2 my time, I'm not streaming. But I will for sure be back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I start when my baby has her first nap, and we go into my husband gets home. So it's usually like a 4 to 5 hour stream. So, yay. And it usually starts between, I want to say 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Perfect. And Peachy, how about you, darling? Any streams potentially coming up? Just say no if it's a no.
Yeah, I'll try. That's all I can literally say. It's been a whirlwind over here in my end. Especially it's a whole song and dance, but they've been working me like a dog at work, despite being part-time and paying me part-time. And school and professors not believing that you have a life outside of homework. It's a whirlwind. So it's been rough, but I'm getting there. What's really I had to read a book. I was actually gonna do a live
Oh,
stream
no,
about
not a
this book, but I
book.
didn't. No. No, I like no, Fake Queen, you don't understand. This particular book is an autobiography. It,
Oh,
it
even worse.
no, it's the book itself that was just so, have you ever done something you had to do something but you'd literally rather do anything else than do this specific thing? That's what it was like for me reading this book.
I'd
And to
rather have
make it
done
worse,
anything else than give birth.
that was actually the name of the book. It's a birthing in 4 cultures. So we have to learn about what birth and the birth system is like in 4 different cultures and compare and whatnot, which sounds interesting, honestly. But the book itself was so mundane. I almost lost my marbles. And what made it worse is she wanted us to read, like, oh, you have 3 days to read 4 chapters. All chapters are like 30 pages each in like the smallest text possible. And you have to have it 500. You have to read it all, and you gotta summarize it in 500 words or less.
That sounds
And
exciting.
I'm like, yep.
Would you want me to help you cheat? And I'll send you the link to I'll send you the link in the login to my birthing class. And you can and it'll explain everything from beginning, middle, and end.
No.
All right, guys. Before we start torturing, we'll
You
go
wanna
on
watch
another
someone push out a baby?
So we are going to leave for now, kids, because you know what's going to happen, ladies. We're going to go for another half hour, and then I'm never going to get no sleep tonight.
Yeah, we all need some
Yes,
sleep. I'm a
baby.
dog. Right,
What
Puggles?
should you be doing?
Right, Putley? Aw, he's sleeping.
What?
He's so
If the
cute.
baby's sleeping, what are you supposed to be doing, Faye?
Fucking bitches and taking names.
Yeah, well, go fuck them in your dreams
Understandable.
and go take names while you nap. She's like, damn it, she's right.
Disregard females, acquire currency.
See, now she's trying to be cute about it. Not allowing it. All right, kids. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I think we had a really great conversation. Peachy, thank you for coming up with the idea. And
Yeah.
I think that this is a really good one. I really enjoyed this one, guys. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Remember to tell people they're important. You love them, be safe. So, guys, I love you, be safe.
Bye.
And I'm about to go to sleep.
Me
Bye,
too.
everyone.
Right after I wash my face, put my hair up, get into my pajamas, and then tuck the dog in.
Oh my God. Sinbad just scared the shit out of me. Something very tall and blonde walked into the room, but no, it was my cat standing up on top of the desk. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Wait, one more. They're making a live action One Piece season 2. That's it. All right, I'm just happy about that.
Yay.
Yay!